Hi, just getting things ready. So I'm gonna turn off the video. All right, so we got the recording on. Welcome everybody to the first digital flooring business masterclass. This is a business masterclass. We're going to be really talking about the business of flooring, not the products. So just an introduction for myself. I'm the owner and operator of Carpets of Arizona. I'm going to say former operator. Lately, my son's been doing all the operations. He's been doing the work. He's been running the business. I've had a nice little romance over the last 4 months, and I haven't really been here that much, which is kind of a testament to what we built. We built a business that really runs well without me. And my son is a good leader. He's doing a great job, but he also wants to get the business to a point where it runs without him. So, I mean, we're building in the processes and the systems and making this business. We're still the leaders of the business. We'll still lead the team, but we really want to be able to take off 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, and this business will run whether we're here or not. So a lot of the stuff that we'll be going over will enable you to do that. I am an Arizona native. I've got one son and 3 daughters. They're all adopted. The daughters are. I used to own a company called Blind Devotion. Um, Blind Devotion was a dating service where we matched blind people to ugly people. No, it's actually a window covering company. So we found that these people, once we matched them, they needed blinds. So we got into the blind business after that. It worked out really well. So, that joke kills it live too. I can't hear you guys laugh. Okay, I ran that for 20 years and I sold that company in 2013. I'm the author of 2 books. One of them is Profit Now, which was my recent one. And then my first book was my new book. I'm kind of a smart ass. So I figured if anybody said, hey, read my new book, they'll be talking about my book. Um, both these books are about business, about small business strategies. And just a little further about the my story with Blind Devotion. I was really the smartest guy there was when it came to understanding window coverings, blinds, shutters. And what I realized in 2009, I think really exposed me and my business skills. Because even though the world was collapsing around us and everybody was filing bankruptcy and everybody was getting out of the business, or not that business, but whatever business they were in, our anchor tenants, everybody was failing. I still feel like if I had the business skills necessary, I could I could have overcome that challenge much better than I did. Now I did stay in business, but I did have to go through personal bankruptcy and restructure. But I still feel like it kind of exposed me and my skills. So I really went on a journey to learn and understand the stuff I'll be teaching you today: marketing, sales strategies, hiring employees, raising your prices, all these things that had I known them then, we would have done much better. The other thing I noticed is even though I was the smartest guy in the window covering industry in Arizona, I had somebody opened up that was brand new to the industry who was kicking my ass left and right. This guy understood marketing. This guy understood how to operate a business, and he was running circles around me. So, yeah, my product knowledge, installation knowledge was far superior to him. But that didn't make a difference. He was kicking my butt. I mean, his business was the number one in the valley, and by far, he was a Hunter Douglas gallery dealer, and he ran a really good business. So that too just showed me that there's a lot more to it than product knowledge. Um, that's one of my frustrations with the flooring business. The flooring business is very much centered around products, not people, and we are in the people business. You'll hear me say that a few times here. So trying to make this work. All right, welcome to the first Digital Flooring Business Masterclass. Everybody should have received the PDFs with instructions. This is going to be recorded, so if you do get interrupted by a customer, you can review it later. I know a lot of us, we handle the phone calls, we handle business that's coming in. So if you do get interrupted, that's fine. You'll be able to review this. Also, if you want to share it with your sales team or anybody else, you guys, I'm going to download this recording onto a private link on YouTube that you'll have access to. So you'll be able to review anything that you've learned here today and tomorrow. Salespeople, installers, bookkeepers, anyone on your team is encouraged to be here, listen, learn, and ask questions. It's really going to help the entire culture of the business. We'll be talking about that a lot too, is your culture of your business. Get your people on board with growing your company. Ask questions in the chat. I might not be able to answer them right away, but I'll get to it as soon as I can. I do want us to be able to engage as much as possible. We'll see how this works with us being online like this. But I will try to interact with you guys. Maybe unmute yourself if you have a question, if you're able to do that. Let me see. Can somebody try to do that? Unmute yourself.
Done.
Okay, good. All right. So you do have control. If you got something, maybe ask a question, go ahead and interrupt me and let me answer your question and clarify. So, all right, taking notes. One of the things I gave you guys all was this page. It's action items. I've done a lot of seminars where I've attended the seminars, and I've always had a note page where I took notes, but in the back, I always have my action item page. There was always 2, 3, 4 big items that I wanted to take care of right away. That stood out amongst the rest, something that you could do fast. So write down, have that off to the side, and write down some action items as we go along here. So play all in here. I've said this, if you don't get something, let me know so I can clarify it. Some of the stuff is confusing, especially when we get into numbers, talking about the difference between markups and margins. One of our challenges is, again, with a live class, I have a whiteboard. I have things where I can write stuff down and show you guys live. I'm going to try and do that here a little bit, but we'll see how well that works. But if you don't get something, let me know. And you guys can all reach out to me. I'm pretty accessible. So if you want clarity afterwards, go ahead and reach out to me and we'll talk. All right, so you've got the goal sheet too. And hopefully you guys have had a chance to fill out some of it, get your 2019-20 numbers in. And then your goal, we're going to work on that today. What's your goal for 2021? All right, so I have a question for you. Anybody can answer this. When you're going on a trip, what's the most important thing to know?
Where you're going?
Exactly, it's the destination. This is why goals are so important. Having that destination, we did the master class in Columbus, Ohio. Well, I had to know where it was. People who are attending had to know where it was. And then you can plan your flight, your hotel, your trip, how long you're going to be there. You can plan everything out, how much it's going to cost. You can plan out your trip. Your business is the same way. It's important to have a goal because we can backtrack then and create the map in order to reach that goal. So a lot of people operate without goals or don't track their numbers and hope things go well and pay their bills from day to day. And hopefully they're able to pay their bills and cover expenses. But psychologically, it doesn't work out. You need to track and measure. You need to have a goal. You can have a stretch goal too. But it gives you, even if you don't hit your goal, if you get close, that's good. But you can do things to affect reaching your goal. It gives you the reason why you make the changes that you're going to make in your business as well. So normally in a class, we have everybody take a few minutes, fill out your goal sheet. Again, hopefully you've done that up to 2021 for now. So what I want to do now, though, is break it down. Have just show of hands. I can see a handful of you on the screen. Have you guys had a chance to start filling that out, getting your 2019, 2020 in? Okay, good. So some of you have. If you haven't, go ahead and do that at some point. Get to those numbers. I mean, some of you that are managers or salespeople, this might be personal goals. If you're managing the company, you need to know these numbers. Sometimes the owners aren't as good about sharing the numbers, but hopefully the owners are on the call or influenced by your taking this call and can get on board too. But you need to know what those goals are. So once you have those goals, then we can start building our map. I did have somebody I talked to recently. I'm going to use them as an example here. XYZ Flooring sales goal for 2021 is 1.5 million. They did almost $1 million last year. I think with the changes that we implemented, they can easily get up to 1.5 million by making the changes that we're going to go over here today. Carpets of Arizona, we had an increase last year of 38%. So I think a lot of you, if you haven't had that kind of growth, you can experience that with a few of these changes. So hopefully you've got that opportunity, but I encourage you minimum a 20% increase. But I think a lot of you can experience a 30% increase if you do a lot of the stuff that we talk about today. So for this company, their average ticket was $3,200. It's good to know your average ticket too. And it's not hard to find it out, right? You have your total sales from last year, and you should be able to count out how many customers you have, and then divide your total sales by how many customers you had. That'll give you your average ticket. Okay, it's really good to know that. Make sure my phone's dead here or off. So in this case, with an average ticket of 3,200, XYZ needs 468 sold customers to reach their goal. Okay, how many leads do we need to sell 468 customers? Well, you need to know your closing rate. I know for us, our closing rate hovers around 50%. So in this case, we would need 936 opportunities or leads in order to get 468 sold customers at 3,200 to reach our goal of 1.5 million. And break it down a little further, we need about 78 leads per month. Now, so we can track that. It's a much easier to get a goal of 78 leads a month than it is to reach a revenue goal. You know, you don't have as much control over the dollars as you do the lead generation. And there's a lot of things we can do to improve our lead generation. So, and we'll talk about marketing next, but if that makes sense to, does that make sense to a lot of you guys? That this really, we are in the lead generation game. Our business is about attracting customers. Doing everything right will help us in the long run. You know, it'll help us get repeat referral business. But first and foremost, you need customers. And one thing I'll go over again, I get a kick out of this when people, let's say the economy is crashing and a lot of people's knee-jerk reaction is to lower their prices. And their feeling is if I lower my prices, I will attract more customers. Well, no, you won't, because the customers have no idea that you lowered your price unless you have marketing to tell them that. So it's not lower prices that attract more customers. It's better marketing that attracts more customers. Okay. Everybody needs a CRM program. That's a customer management program. I do recommend RLM. Full disclosure, I don't use RLM here. We use another program called Job Nimbus, but we've had to do a lot of work to make Job Nimbus work for us. Jason Goldberg created RLM and he created it for the flooring industry. His company does over $100 million a year. He uses it there, but I really recommend the program. It's one of the simplest programs to use and to start tracking these leads. And there's a lot of ways that you can use that program to grow your business, increase your closing rate, and really track those customers. Also, as anybody is a manager, you can track and keep track of your salespeople and what they're doing and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to, following up on leads, closing leads, and you can see where they're at. You can hold them accountable. So it's really important if you haven't got that. RLM is complicated if you try to do everything at once. So if you're new to it, if you haven't used it yet, and it's really not complicated, it's just anything that's new that disrupts us is complicated. So, but if you haven't used it, I encourage you the very first month you get RLM, if you have a program now, make sure you enter every single lead. That's key. Make sure your salespeople, you get a call, you get a phone number, an address, you get information, you get email address, enter that into the CRM, enter it into your program, and make sure you enter every single lead. We figure our cost to attract customers is about $150 a lead. Our cost at a 50% closing rate, our cost is $75 per sale. Oh, wait, I got that backwards. It's $150 per sale, $75 per lead. If you don't enter that lead, you're throwing 75 bucks out the window if that's your cost per acquisition. So you got to consider that. Those leads are valuable and they cost you money. So if you get all that data, all that information, and you didn't enter it into your computer, you just threw away 75 bucks. For some people, it's a lot more. So the cost to acquire a lead can cost you over $100, depends on how good your marketing is. Okay, so we need 78 leads a month in this company in order to reach our goals. Now I can break that down by the salespeople. How many salespeople do I have? Everybody should have a calculator handy. I should have a calculator handy. So doing this live. Let's say you've got a small company and you've got 3 salespeople. So that's about 26 leads a month that each salesperson needs
Can you hear it?
to reach a revenue goal of 1.5 million. Yes.
Sure.
Up, you cut in and out. Does somebody have a question? All right. All right, so let's talk about some ways that we can reach our goals faster. And we look at this all the time. We have a Monday morning meeting. We set our goals. We put it up there for everybody to see. And we're always trying to better our best. So some of the ways that we can reach our goals faster. One, we can raise our prices. gosh, I hope after this meeting, everybody will be raising your prices. 2, we can increase our closing rate. So again, with this presentation, what we're doing, hopefully everybody has the ability to increase their closing rate. Some people think they have a high closing rate. Some people do. Look, sometimes your closing rate is too high because you're not charging enough money. So you can afford to lose a few jobs, charge more money, and make a higher profit. And it's really important. In our industry, you had better be profitable because there are so many expenses and unexpected things that occur. You deserve to make a good profit in this industry. This industry is also very complicated, and sometimes, and it is treated like a commodity, and it shouldn't be, because what we do takes a tremendous amount of skill. And I'm new to the industry. I'm actually old to business, new to the industry. And I am amazed at how much skill it takes to install flooring. I don't care what type of flooring it is, and reach the edges and make everything finished and look good. So we have a lot of things we have to navigate, a lot of things that can go wrong. You guys deserve a good profit for your work, your expertise, and what you do. We could raise our average ticket. So just raising your average ticket, some ways that you can do that. Look around the rest of the house, see what else that they need. Raising your prices will raise your average ticket. Upgrading will raise your average ticket. So there's all sorts of ways you can raise your average ticket price. And then you can upsell. Our average ticket started out, when we began our business, it started out at about $2,300. Our average ticket is over 4,000 right now. And I can tell you, we mostly sell carpet. Selling more expensive items, selling wood flooring, selling luxury vinyl, that'll get you a higher ticket, a higher average ticket. But in our business, Carpets of Arizona, it's 60% of our business is carpet. A little bit higher than that, actually. It's probably closer to 65%. You can reach your goals faster by improving your marketing, attracting more customers, giving yourself more opportunities. Okay, I'm not going to wait 10 minutes to start this, but I want to open it up to you guys. Did anybody have any questions about setting goals, understanding the breakdown of how many leads you have? Chris asked a question, what's a good profit margin? I love that question. And we were hovering around 40% as well. 40% to me in this industry is a decent profit margin, kind of at a minimum. And we know with some commercial jobs and in some cases, you're going to get lower than that. But our average profit margin in 2020 was 45%. So we have managed to increase our profit margin up to 45%. We had our top salesperson yesterday just sold a job at 58% profit margin. So some stuff we have in stock, and that's something too that I see a lot of people do. They'll stock inventory to give themselves the ability to sell stuff cheaper. But what you really got to be doing is stocking inventory to give yourself the ability to sell at higher profit margins, sell faster, and give yourself more time. Carl asked, do you sell wholesale to installers or builders? And if so, what kind of margin do you take? We don't do that. That's a great business to look at. And it's definitely, you're not at a 40% margin. That's a different business. One of the reasons that it's so important to command 40-45% margins is in our business, there's a time factor involved that you're not just selling widgets. You're not Walmart. You're not just selling products. In the case of selling to wholesale or selling to installers, that's fine because you can take a lower margin. And I could tell you, I'll accept a lower margin if somebody's buying material only and they're going to install themselves. I'll compete. I'll get that sale. I'm fine with a 25% profit margin just to sell that product or beat out a competitor on that. To to get that sale because there's no labor involved. There's no risk. There's no time factor. So I'm also going to manage that sale, not with my salespeople, but we're going to take that in house. So we're not going to be paying commission on that. So I also don't have the expense of the commission. So there are things to consider when you're doing that. But look, when you're installing, when you're doing your labor and you're giving expertise, there's a time factor that you just can't overcome. It's going to take you time to install a job. So you need to command those margins. You know, you can't do volume. Volume is insanity in our business when you are attaching labor. Volume's fine when you're just selling products and you're selling stuff off a shelf. But volume, when you attach labor, that's nuts. You know, and we all know how hard it is to get good installers and keep them on and keep them fat and happy. But these guys will break down too. I mean, they can only handle so much work, right?
That makes sense. A lot of times you get in the idea that more is better, more volume, but profit's not a dirty word.
No, not at all. And we'll go over that a lot about raising prices. But I said, you know, and the feedback I get from people is I don't want to rip people off. And their impression of ripping people off is if another company will charge much less, they feel as if they're ripping a customer off. And the problem isn't that your prices are too high. The problem is the competition is way too low. So there's nothing, if they don't value themselves, that's fine. But you know, you have to value yourself. You got to value your expertise, your skill, your knowledge. If you want your customers to value you and what you do, you've got to value yourself. So, and you should command the prices that you're worth. And if you don't want to rip people off, then do what you agreed to do for the price you agreed to do it for. That's how you don't rip off a customer. The people who end up ripping off customers are the ones who don't charge enough, because they're the ones that can't do what they agreed to do for the price they agreed to do it for. Maybe they can't pay their suppliers. Maybe they're not paying their installers. You know, that's ripping off a customer. It's not charging them too much. They agreed to the price. You didn't put a gun to their head. So you told them what you were going to do. You told them what you were going to charge. They agreed to that. So you couldn't possibly be ripping them off. There's no price that you can charge where it's considered ripping them off. It's only ripping them off if you don't do what you agreed to do. All right. So let's talk about marketing. So what business are you in? You guys all thought you were in the flooring business, huh? No, you're actually in the marketing business. Again, this business is about attracting customers. I encourage you all to learn from the stuff I put out, the videos, but also get books on marketing, understand guerrilla marketing, understand. I follow this guy, Dan Kennedy, who's kind of on his deathbed, unfortunately. Dan Kennedy is to marketing what Tony Robbins is to self-improvement. A lot of people haven't heard of Dan Kennedy unless you are into marketing. But there's a lot of marketing gurus that grew up underneath Dan Kennedy. I follow another guy, Joe Polish. He has a podcast called I Love Marketing. He's actually here in Arizona. I know the guy. His stuff is much better for coaches and consultants than it is for retail. Dan Kennedy's really good on retail sales. But a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk to you guys about is a lot of Dan Kennedy 101. The guy's heavily into print advertising. I'm not. I don't believe in print advertising just because I track and measure, and I don't find that we get the results from print advertising. So one things I do in the masterclass is we name all the ways that you can market. We're not going to do that here, but it's kind of fun because we put it on the whiteboard and we list all the ways that you can market in your company. Okay. But I handed out a sheet to you that shows uh, 50 ways that you can market your company. Okay, so you can go through there. Some of those you can see, some of those might spark an idea for you. But I read a book, Guerrilla Marketing. It was by Jay Levinson, same last name as me. And he's passed away as well, but his wife is still alive, running his company for him. When I got that book, I thought, man, this is ridiculous. I don't have the money. I'm a small company. This was, 15 years ago when I was in the blind business, probably 20 years ago. Gosh, how could that be? I thought this is ridiculous. I don't have the money to do guerrilla marketing. But then I started looking at all the ways I was marketing, and I was like, oh, I am guerrilla marketing. I'm doing exactly what they say because I was doing multiple things, even though those things weren't costing me money. I'm going to show you all the ways that we market in our company. So this is the stuff we do here at Carpets of Arizona. Website, pay-per-click, SEO. I'm huge on that. It is the digital age. One thing that really excited me about getting into the flooring business was how bad flooring dealers were at marketing. I thought, oh man, this is going to be easy. So it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, but it was a lot easier for me because I was way ahead of the game of the competition. There was guys that were in the business a lot longer and a lot more skilled than me, but they weren't spending any money on their website or pay-per-click or SEO. And they still believed that, it was all referral marketing, all print advertising and repeat customers. They wouldn't spend the money on it. And a lot of people won't spend the money on it because they don't understand the value that they're getting from their website or from pay-per-click or from SEO. YouTube advertising. Okay, I put an asterisk next to the ones that are free. YouTube is free. You can shoot a video. Anybody can shoot a video right now. And I've done some videos on this. Just shoot the damn video. It's funny. I've shot videos about my daughter's party where I hit a bicycle in plain sight. I was going to give it to her as a gift. When she saw the bicycle, she's like, oh my God, I love that. I want that bicycle. I'm like, yeah, sorry, that's for a contest that we're doing. It's a Shaw contest. So people can enter to win the bicycle. Well, so I hid it in plain sight. It was on a table in our showroom, but I created this fictitious story out of it. And then we gave it to her for her birthday. And I put that on YouTube. I put it on my channel, put it on Facebook and Google My Business. I put it all these places. This had nothing to do with flooring. And that's one thing I love is creating videos that have nothing to do with product, that are just entertaining, funny, interesting, that make people go, I want to do business with those guys. I see their videos, I see what they're doing. I want to do business with them. One of our best catches is we're a small family-owned business, no one over 5'6". We get a lot of business for that saying. We also do free snow shoveling. This is nothing about quality, service, price, but it's just personality. And I want to write a third book that I'll call Personality Marketing and Sales. Again, we're in the people business. We're selling to people. And when your personality shines, where you're from, what your interests are, you adopted kids, all this stuff, it works. It's good at attracting customers. It's good at helping people want to do business with you when it has nothing to do with product, price, or service. Google My Business. If you're not on Google My Business, you should get on there. You can post videos on there. You can post photos on there. It's 100% free. It's good SEO. It's just good action. You can share that across other channels of Facebook, YouTube. Google My Business is gold and it costs people nothing, but nobody does it. Yelp. I believe in Yelp advertising, but only if you're fully invested in your website and only if you have reviews. If those two things don't exist, don't do Yelp. It's not worth it. But Yelp is free. So go ahead and take advantage of the free stuff. Put your listing up there. and do what you can with Yelp. Facebook, there's two Facebooks. There's Facebook paid and there's Facebook unpaid. Right now, there's these community groups are everywhere. I'm in one called Go Gilbert. It's got 55,000, oh no, 60,000 people in it. And people are always asking, who do you use for flooring? And so we do both paid and unpaid advertising on Facebook. And my paid advertising has to get a whole lot better. The one thing I'm concerned about with Facebook is everybody's getting on board with it. So I think it's going to get watered down very fast. I want to be ahead of the curve. I want to do what other people aren't doing, just so I can be in places where they're not. So there's not so much competition. But I'm certainly, all of my salespeople are certainly engaged in Facebook. They're reading these community sites, and I'm going to show you guys how to properly engage with people on Facebook. Instagram is great. I'm not very good at Instagram, but posting those photos, I know people look through Instagram all the time. Signs, I got a dollar sign, but by the things that are very inexpensive. One thing I love about signs in front of your showroom or whatever, it's evergreen. You pay once for it. It's not like an ad that you pay for constantly. So a sign is very, very inexpensive, and it works. Vehicle graphics, very, very inexpensive, and it works. It's a one-time fee. So it might be expensive in the beginning, but it works really well. One of the things I did in 2019, I decided, instead of going to marketing seminars, and this is a good tip for all you guys too, I decided I'm going to visit other flooring dealers who are successful. I see these people on Saturdays who are saying, we got a ton of traffic. I go through their website. They're not doing a great job marketing. So I want to find out what they're doing. I went to Precision Floor and Decor. I went to Metro Flooring, visited them, and I got a lot from both those visits. But it was nice because generally I go to marketing seminars. Those usually cost about $1,500. Plus I got hotel, plus I got travel, and the expense of being away. Well, this expense was just travel and hotel. So it was a lot less expensive, and I got a lot more out of visiting other flooring dealers than I did going to those marketing seminars. That, again, they weren't like this. They weren't around flooring. They're general marketing ideas, which I always got a lot out of that. But man, I really enjoyed visiting other flooring dealers. Visiting Jason was just a huge treat. Jason Goldberg, my son, the way he's running the business, I really want him to visit Jason. So we're going to plan that when it gets a little bit warmer here. But the vehicle graphics is an idea I got from, I already did that, but when I went to Precision Floor and Decor, they had a bunch of small vehicles that their salespeople drive around. So the expense of a couple of small vehicles wasn't that much. And to put the vehicle graphics on it, it's really good. This is good branding too. So the things I like from a branding perspective, I think branding, spending money on branding is not a very good use of your money. When you're a small business, branding is expensive. But having the vehicle graphics, having the signs, your showroom, you live around a certain area, you work around a certain area. So people are seeing that message 7, 8, 9 times. And it takes 8, 9 times for people to read your signs, see your message, to get familiar with you and do business with you. So having all this stuff is good branding. Referral marketing. I read a good book on referral marketing, and it's how to do referral marketing right. I couldn't remember. Stacey Abrams was the author. The book was a little frustrating because she didn't get into the process of referral marketing until like 70 pages in. So it was like, okay, how do you do this? But the crux of it was, if somebody refers you, send them a thank you card. Don't send them an email, because people will forget the email and it has no life to it. Don't make a phone call. You can make a phone call, acknowledge the referral. But once you get the referral, send a card and say, hey, thank you for referring Mrs. Smith. We're in the process of giving her an estimate now. She hasn't gone with it yet, but hopefully we'll do business with her. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. That was key too, is instead of saying, please refer me again, or here's some more of my cards, or giving them a monetary award, that's not necessary, because people refer. What Stacy teaches you is people refer for themselves. It's like if you're telling somebody to go to your church, or if you're telling somebody to go to a movie, you want, or a restaurant, you want them to have an experience and come back and thank you for that experience. So they're not referring your company because they like you. They're referring their company, your company, because they like their friend. They know you're going to take care of their friend, and that's going to make them look good. So they're referring for two reasons: for their friend and for themselves, not for you. So when you say, hey, thanks for referring me, please let me know if there's anything I can do for you, that's good reciprocation. It's a lot better message. And here's the other thing I learned about cards. Cards have life. They live on people's desks. I don't know about you, but when you get a card that's personally handwritten, it's very uncomfortable to throw that thing away. I've got a file full of cards that I've gotten from customers and people, because throwing it in the trash feels like I'm doing something nasty to that person. Like I don't care that it's like mean or hateful. So I won't throw those cards away, and I come across them every now and again, and makes you feel good to come across those cards. So those cards are very valuable. They work really well. So a handwritten thank you card to somebody that refers you, that's gold. Calling previous customers. Guys, the phone works both ways. If you got salespeople sitting around the showroom doing nothing, there's nothing wrong with calling previous customers, seeing if they need anything else. We have a 60-day follow-up process. And the reason we do that, we do it for a couple reasons. One, sometimes something goes wrong with the install, and sometimes customers won't complain, but they're mad at you and they'll never use you again because you didn't fix the problem. Even though they didn't tell you there was a problem, you didn't fix it. And they keep forgetting to call you back. So one, we do a 60-day follow-up for that reason. But the other reason is I want to touch this customer again 60 days later. I want to remind them that we did the work for them again. And I'm hoping that we're top of mind to them, so they refer us to somebody. The other thing that we would do if business got slow and I needed my salespeople to work, we do a customer callback feature. I would create a sale, a special, have some kind of an information or announcement. I would call the customers back. In most cases, you're leaving a message. Call them back, leave a message saying, hey, this is Jerry at Carpets of Arizona. Want to know that we just got a new product I thought you might be interested in. I'm going to send you more information in the mail. So keep a lookout for that. I would leave a very short message. I wouldn't tell them what the sales special is, but I would say, I'm going to send you something in the mail. You can send a text doing the same thing. Networking groups. Networking groups are, again, they're very inexpensive form of marketing. I'm a big believer in networking groups. I think all the salespeople that work for me have to be in a networking group. We're not in them now because they've gone to Zoom, and the Zoom drives me nuts. I want to be live and in person. I don't think they're as effective on Zoom, but some of them are in ones that they were in previously, and it's a good, strong group. So a couple of them are still in those groups. But the reason I want my salespeople in networking groups is because I think everybody should be responsible for growing the company. You know, I want everybody to be part of the process. I don't want my salespeople just to sell leads that I generate. I want them to be that part of the process of talking about the company and generating leads and being a cheerleader for the company. That's what they're doing in a networking group. They're saying, hey, we're great, use us. That's the kind of culture you want. That's the kind of attitude you want. So networking groups can be very powerful strictly from a cultural standpoint, and you will get some leads out of it. Shirts are great. I mean, in all our shirts, we have a small family owned business, no one over 5'6" on the back. And it's funny because anytime we're at a bank, at an airport, anytime we're in line anywhere, somebody reads that shirt and laughs at it. One of the things we learned to do, because it's on the back of all our vehicles, but in the beginning, I didn't have the Carpets of Arizona with it. So now all of our shirts have Carpets of Arizona, and then they have that funny saying. So we get people taking pictures of our cars all the time, taking pictures of the shirts. So that funny saying really works. If you want to come up with something funny and clever, that's great. The cartoon caricature we just made, that works really good too. 5-star reviews, they're gold, people. They're good for SEO. Make sure anytime you get a review, you respond. If you haven't responded to your reviews, good or bad, you need to respond. 1-star reviews are actually excellent marketing. Look, it's frustrating. You're not an evil person, but somebody's treating you like you're an evil person. I almost expect a 1-star review right now. Somebody flipped me off on the road. My vehicle has signage on it. He might write a 1-star review. Those are my favorite. The 1-star reviews where they didn't do business with you. They're illegitimate. Here's the reality of a 1-star review. Most of those people did not do business with you. They're mad at you because your prices are too high. They don't like the way you answered the phone, or you cut them off on the road. There's some illegitimate reason. I've got 4 1-star reviews on my company because of a funny post I put in Facebook where I said, hey, instead of taking away my kids' cell phones, I'm going to make them talk to the cable company. After spending an hour with those idiots, they'll never do whatever they did wrong again. Well, people were offended that I called the cable company people idiots. So I got 4 1-star reviews, and I responded to them all. Let's talk about the people reading the 1-star reviews. One, they don't like it when you get attacked unfairly. So they'll come to your defense. They'll look at that person as a jerk who attacked you. So they will also, everybody's attracted to a 1-star review. They're going to read it, but they're also going to read the response. And it's important how you respond. My response is usually this: oh, it's a shame you didn't get a chance to use us. We have over 100 5-star reviews, and this is why. And I go over the process of why we have such a good reputation. It's an opportunity for me to give a commercial for our company. So I can't pay for that kind of advertisement, but people like a car wreck. They're going to read that 1-star review and they're going to read the response. And we just got one on Facebook recently, and it was really funny when they gave us the 1-star review. She says, "You're like all the other contractors we've done business with." Okay. Do you think maybe she's the problem? Because if she thinks everybody is horrible, because my response to her was the same thing. We got so many 5-star reviews. She wanted us to replace carpet after 8 months because it wasn't wearing as well as it should have. And I said, well, we can have it inspected, but you have to have it professionally cleaned. And she says, well, you can pay for the professional cleaner. I'm not paying for it. So obviously all this is in the review. Anybody reading it can say, all right, this person's unreasonable. They expect the guy to replace carpet for free after 8 months of living on it, and they're not even going to have it professionally cleaned to have it inspected to make sure it's legitimately the material. That was the offer we made to her. And so anybody reading that 1-star review can clearly see the person's a jerk, and they'll come to our defense. So do you guys do PK sessions? Do you have product knowledge sessions? And just put in the chat box, I'm curious, how often do you have a PK session at your showroom? Rarely, once a month. A new product, at least once a month. I know a lot of people will spend a lot of time on PK sessions. I actually don't let the PK sessions in. The reason I don't is because my salespeople end up talking like that person and giving customers details that are irrelevant and don't matter. You know, um, why the carpet holds up as long as it does doesn't matter. The fact that it does hold up as long as it does matters. So explaining the science behind the product, I don't think is important. So, and one thing I've noticed about PK sessions, they never tell you how to sell the product. They tell you how the product's made. So, but I have a larger point here. How much time do you spend on marketing? So again, a PK session is not going to attract any customers. It's not going to bring anybody into your showroom. Marketing will. Marketing is going to bring the dollars in. It's going to bring the people in. Have you ever taken a class on marketing or read a book? All right, so one big tip to improve your website. I'm assuming everybody has a website. If you don't have a website, get a website. That's the way of the world. That's how it works. People do a Google search. They're going to find you. They're looking for a flooring company near them. So the biggest tip, this is action item number 1, and everybody must write this down if you don't do this already. Schedule a 1-hour meeting with your web company. Write it down, but after this call, after this meeting, at 1 o'clock Arizona time, whatever time that is for you, call your web company or send them an email and ask them to schedule a 1-hour meeting once a month. Dedicate yourself to that. There's a lot that's going to happen in a 1-hour meeting. One, there's a lot of stuff about websites that you guys don't understand, and that's fine. But the web company doesn't know that you don't understand these things. So you're going to hold them accountable. They're going to be prepared. They're going to look at your website more often than the person who hires them and says, I trust you to do a good job. So I'm hiring you, I'm paying you, and I expect you to do a good job. Those people are not looking out for you unless you have a 1-hour meeting with them. And it's nothing against them. This is just human nature. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So if you have a 1-hour meeting with them, now let's say you don't like it. There's sometimes a husband and wife team, and the guy's involved in a lot of stuff. Let your wife do it. Let somebody that works for you do it. Let somebody in your company have a 1-hour meeting. You'll start to begin over time things like what's a good bounce rate? Bounce rate is how much time people spend on your site, and you can take it even down to your page. Good bounce rate's about 35-40%. So sometimes they bounce off right away because they get the information they need. But you can judge these things. What pages are they going to? What are they looking at? How many form fills do you get? I don't care how good your performance is, you're always looking to improve it. You're always going to hold that marketing company, that website company accountable. The web companies I do recommend are Floor Force, Creating Your Space. We use Creating Your Space. And I love Creating Your Space. I've gone back and forth between Floor Force and Creating Your Space. I had better luck with Creating Your Space. Um, and then there's also mobile marketing. There's another one under Shaw. I think they're part of the mobile marketing arm. And I believe Jason Goldberg might use mobile marketing for some of what he does. But one of the good things about these companies is they work directly with Shaw and Mohawk. So if you are an aligned dealer, it'll be easier for you to get co-op money. But the other thing that's really good, they have all the content. One thing that's hard about getting a good web company on board is you have to provide them the content, and there's always such a big delay between you giving them the content, you getting it from Mohawk, you getting it from Shaw, and giving it to the company. Well, you don't have to give all that to them because they've already got most of the content that's needed for good SEO ranking, good pay-per-click. The other thing is Mohawk and Shaw will have specials. They will automatically put those specials on your website for you. So you don't have to manage nearly as much of your website as you do hiring somebody independent. So I should put the saying in this slide, but the cost of an advertisement is measured by the results, not the price. So hiring a web company that charges you $1,000 a month versus one that charges you $97 a month will depend on the results, not on the cost. So whoever can do the best lead generation, get you the most business, turn the best dollars for you, is the best company. It's not based on the price. But you want to improve your experience, you got to schedule that 1 hour meeting. It's vital. So why do you think people shop at Lowe's, Home Depot, Empire?
They're constantly advertising prices and like catching the customer's attention with their specials.
Yeah, it's great answer. It's actually the sheer volume of advertising. Like it or not, they're trusted brands, and they're trusted brands. And I'm not suggesting you guys need to match their advertising volume, because you don't. But the bigger point I'm making is Empire does not attract customers because of their specials. They're attracting them because of the volume of advertising they're doing. I don't know about you guys, but I do all sorts of sales, all sorts of specials. I have never had a customer come into my showroom asking for the special, the ad that they heard about, even special financing. You know, it's really funny. In our industry, customers aren't aware of prices. So they don't know a good deal or a good special. That's not what attracts them. What attracts them to your company is seeing your advertisement, knowing that you're open, the convenience of doing business with you. And that's a big part of why people do business with Lowe's, Home Depot, and Empire. It's convenient. You know, so it's not that they have free installation. People get so aggravated at that. I don't understand why. You know, that's not really attracting customers. But what is just the volume of advertising. And, you know, you talk about Lowe's and Home Depot, they're in the stores too. So, and they see the flooring departments. So it's really not the sales or the specials. Matching those sales or specials isn't going to be effective advertising. Now, one advertisement that did work really well for me, or somewhat well, that got attention based on the ad, or people at least responded to it, responded to the message, was when I offered free tile tear out. My free tile tear out was part of a bigger package where we do everything for one price. So it includes the tile tear out. So I just packaged it in. It was a really good marketing message. But again, why do people respond to that message? Because of the expense of the tile tear out. One of the reasons they won't do their project is because of the hassle and expense of the tile tear out. Well, if I make it free and convenient, then that attracts them to me. It gives me an opportunity to give them a quote for their business and gives them a chance to consider it. So if quality products and great service were important, how come over 1 billion people go here? You know, there's a lot of better places you can go to get a hamburger. And again, the broader message here is offering quality service, offering great prices. People expect that kind of stuff, offering quality products and great service. People expect that. One thing marketing people will always tell you is you have to build trust. I don't agree with that message. I think people trust you automatically. Trust is there to be broken. I think you can break trust, but I don't think you have to build trust as much. So, what's the first goal in a marketing? It's to get their attention. Again, the sale, the special, the ad, I used to go through this on newspapers. I have this in my book, but at a home show, if you're walking through a home show, who is your competition? Do you think you're competing against other flooring dealers? No, you're competing against everybody. You compete for attention. There's people selling widgets, there's people selling kitchen remodels, all sorts of things. There's over 100 different types of vendors that you're competing against for attention. Don't worry about the other flooring guys. They're not your competition. You're competing against everybody. In fact, Walt Disney even recognizes that their competition is everybody. So think about this: when somebody calls you, they are comparing the experience they have with you with the experience they had at Discount Tire, getting their tires replaced, or a mechanic, or going out to a restaurant. People will compare services that they received, or let's say a pest control company or a pool cleaning company. They are going to compare you against other services. So you are competing against everybody in customer experience. Marketing in a home show, you're competing against everybody for attention. You know, one of the best things you can do at a home show is a black shirt with white print. A black shirt with white print stands out. Everybody reads the message. I was working with this company, helping them with they did roll-up screens, and we got the black shirts with white print, and he says, my customers are high-end. This isn't classy enough, you know? And I said, do it, trust me, do it. We also had a skinny monkey hanging from the screen. And so when we raise it up and down, you know, all the kids noticed the skinny monkey and pointed out to their parents. But everybody noticed. We got their attention. And what was really funny is we had 2 customers come up to us at that home show and told us that you guys are the most professional people here. And here this guy was worried that we're not professional for the high-end client that we're trying to attract by having black shirts with white print. It works. It works well. It stands out, especially you have 2, 3, 4 people in your booth with black shirts and white print. Everybody will read the message. Again, we're not doing newspapers a lot, but who's your competition in the newspaper? You're competing against articles. You're competing against other companies. I show in my book, there's an air conditioning company that competes against each other. One company has a much lower price. One company looks like they have a much lower price. They visually stand out so much better. I guarantee they get more business, even though their price is higher. Just because they stand out, people will respond to their ad. On radio, same thing. I mean, you're competing for attention. What's the messaging? One of the ads, I wish I could have ran this longer because it was a funny ad, but we have a referral guarantee program. If you refer a friend, and we guarantee the friend's satisfaction. If for any reason your friend is dissatisfied, we'll replace them with a new friend at no extra cost. So, you know, if I had a chance to run that ad longer, but radio, you really got to be committed to a lot of dollars in that. It's really hard to get a good return on investment on radio and TV. So on radio and TV, if you ever do delve into those, it's really good to be with like a popular show. I know Buddy in Colorado, Simply Floors. That's a great guy to follow, by the way. You can look at my website, look at Buddy's website. He does a fantastic job. Really, really good small businessman. If you ever wanted advice, you can certainly reach out to me, but you could reach out to him. He's one of the best in our industry from a small business perspective. But he advertises on a radio show that's well known. So he's a trusted resource on a home improvement radio show. Okay. So there's two types of marketing that you can do. The first is broadcast marketing. I'll blow through this fast. That's where you're going to put out a message in hopes that your prospects in the market for your product or service at the time you advertise it. That's like print advertising. I mean, you're really gambling a lot there. If you do a print ad, and you got to measure your advertising. Measuring your advertising is really become difficult though, because most people go from a print ad to the website. So a lot of times the website gets credit. But measuring is so important. We even put it on the top of our invoice. How did they hear about us? Because I want the customer to see how they heard about us, because it's validation, especially if it's a referral from a friend. That's really good. So the broadcast advertising, again, radio, TV, print advertising, direct mail. I mean, on this, you're gambling. You're hoping that people see you. Branding. I like branding is what advertisers say they're doing for you when they can't get you business. That's what a lot of print advertisers do. No, well, we're helping you get out your brand. Now, dude, I don't have that kind of money. Let McDonald's and Home Depot, Lowe's, and all these companies, let them do the branding. We need to attract customers. We need to make our marketing dollars work for us. The second type is direct response marketing. The best direct response is pay-per-click advertising. What makes that the best? The only way that you pay for an ad is when people go to your website. So if people did a Google search for you, there's retargeting, which I think I get into as well. But people do a search, you're paying, let's say in my market, we're paying about $5 per click. But so $3,500 divided by 5, I get 700 people went to my website for $3,500 at $5 per click. Okay. So I'm guaranteed traffic with pay-per-click advertising. I'm guaranteed eyeballs on my website. When you do, let's say you do a print ad for $3,500. I mean, you're lucky to get 2-3 people out of that. Let's say you get 10 people. It just won't compare to the volume of business you're going to get from pay-per-click advertising. And a lot of what I do sounds like I'm selling advertising, like I'm going to make you guys an offer. I don't have anything to do with any of it. And even if you use Creating Your Space, who I recommend, I don't get kickbacks from them. So there's no benefit that goes beyond just telling you guys. Retargeting is important. Retargeting is what happens when you looked up a product or an item. Say you're researching, you wanted to buy a basketball, and now you're getting a ton of ads for basketballs. And retargeting's gotten so bad. Google just listens to everything we're saying now, it seems like. It was funny. I was having this conversation with some friends, and they brought up the topic of manscaping. All of a sudden, I'm starting to get ads on my Facebook for manscaping, which I've never Googled in my life. And all of a sudden, all these Facebook ads and everything. So retargeting, if you're in business and you can do retargeting, it's awesome. As a consumer, it's creepy as hell. It's like, God, you're stalking me. Leave me alone. But it's funny that how many people that I'm friends with that know me on Facebook, that if anybody that's ever clicked on my ads or website, even a lot of flooring dealers will see my ads, even though you're not in my area, just because of retargeting. And retargeting is very, very inexpensive. That's good branding. Yelp and Home Advisor, they're most hated, but they can be effective. I don't recommend Home Advisor at all. Yelp only under certain circumstances, which I explained earlier. Networking is vital. Belly to belly marketing is one of the best marketing things you can do. Home shows. And I've measured the results of home shows over time. I'm not a huge fan of home shows. We've done them. When I've done home shows is when I have somebody that's really good at working them. My dad worked for us. He's fantastic at home shows. He talks to everyone. So we did a home show last time when he was working for us. They're not doing it now. But the type of marketing you do at a home show is very important. Again, wearing shirts, not having too many products to choose from, maybe 2 or 3 at best, but really focusing your marketing and your offer on something that you can sell. Scheduling that appointment at the home show is important. Getting out to them very fast, confirming that appointment, following up after the home show is important. So home shows is one of those, you either going to do it right or don't bother. Because if you just do a home show, put a booth up there, slap it together, you're wasting your time and money. Repeat and referral business is fantastic. And again, reaching out. A lot of us do a bad job at this, me included. It's always important. We've done a much, much better job at us, and it's paid off. I actually hired Creating Your Space. And that's the thing is anybody you can hire to do this stuff for you. I hired Creating Your Space, and we created a program for people to reach out to their previous customers. It goes out once a quarter. We even stepped it up to something that goes out once a month to do a newsletter, something to touch them, because you've already proven that you're a good company. It's so much easier to sell to a previous customer than it is to somebody new who's never done business with you. Private sale or store event. I love having stuff in my showroom. Oh my God. Any reason I can get somebody in my showroom. I used to do master classes in the showroom, or not a master class, but I would do a mastermind. And I would have them invite everybody from the networking group. And I would bring them in and I would teach them about marketing and about sales. And I would teach them how I do this at Carpets of Arizona. And well, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm advertising my company without advertising my company. And they're in my showroom. So naturally, they're going to look around. They're going to ask me questions. So we've gotten some good business from just having store events, having parties. I was in a singles group last year, and with COVID and everything, they wouldn't do events in restaurants. Everybody was afraid. And not to get into politics or anything, but I'm not one of those that was afraid. We don't do mass here. We don't do anything. And so I invited the singles group over for a Taco Tuesday. I went to a place, got a bunch of tacos, burritos, and I had 24 people came out to our showroom just for a party. And all those people are now, they know who I am. They've used us. They've referred us to their friends. Why? Not because we're a great company, because I had a party here. So I had them in my showroom and we're friends. Realtors. We had a program just before COVID where we were getting realtors in. We're going to do that again. And again, I talked about the Home Seller Dream Program, which I'm going to talk to you about in this segment as well. But having the realtors into the showroom is fantastic. You can target market the realtors. You can do that on LinkedIn. realtors are a fantastic target audience. But I'm going to show you how to advertise to them without soliciting them. So good target marketing. Good target marketing is anything when you can have a certain segment, it speaks to them. I'll give you a good example is I have a friend that was a chiropractor. Her target audience is women who golf. Well, she can build a big tribe of people who golf, women who golf. They have an interest that they talk to their friends about it. Other women are on the golf course. They talk to each other about it. Again, it's a little bit more difficult in our industry, but anytime you can see a target, a segment, a community, you can get in that community real well and be the flooring person for that community. You can be the mayor of flooring in Ocotillo Heights, you know, whatever. I'm just making up a community. Give yourself a title, have fun with it, but you can target an audience where you're the go-to person. So I'm just amazed at how much Facebook is growing as a media. It seems like it's just exploding all at once. There's a lot of great systems, but you got to track and measure. One of the things very difficult about Facebook is most of it goes to your website. There are ways you can create a landing page so you can track and measure it better. But I wanted to learn how to do Facebook myself so I could manage it myself. I suck at that kind of thing. I go into the Facebook, I'm trying to learn how to use it. Facebook advertising is very complicated. Now you can boost a post, that's easy, but doing an actual ad, placing that ad, I have a very hard time doing it myself. If you can do it, do it. It's a great form of advertising for you, very much like pay-per-click advertising. But tracking it and measuring it sometimes can be difficult. They have this thing called a pixel you can put on there. When you're working with your web company will tell you how much of your traffic is coming from Facebook. So it's a good measurement. To go back a little bit to Yelp, one of the reasons I like Yelp directly doesn't look very good. The cost per click is very expensive and the amount of business we get off of it is not very good. But when we look at our analytics, we get traffic from Yelp, and the people who come from Yelp spend more time on our site. It's a lower bounce rate. The form fills are greater. It's a better quality customer that comes from Yelp. So that's one of the reasons that I invest in Yelp, because it is a good customer that comes from it. We have lowered our investment quite a bit, and we are going a lot more to pay-per-click advertising, but I don't discount Yelp. Same thing with Facebook. You need to talk to your web company and see what kind of traffic's coming from there, how much time they spend on site. One thing I don't like about Facebook too, the people that go there may not spend a lot of time, because you can do good advertising to attract people to your website, but when they get there, there may be a disconnect. Like maybe you found an entertaining way. I offered one time rug burn free carpet. And so sounds very sexual, right? And when they got there, it was like, hey, we're not going to burn you by high prices on your carpet. So don't get burned. So I turned that around. But the thing is I tricked people by creating this sexual content into coming to my website. But those guys didn't stay on my website. It was useless, you know? So I thought it was funny. I thought it was clever, but by and large, it didn't work. So it got me a lot of traffic, but it didn't work because people thought they were going to see something a little bit more salacious when they got there. Inside community groups, you need to make comments. So inside the community groups, I'm going to get into this in a second. So reach out to them privately when they go out to you. engage them in a conversation, do not solicit, work them down your funnel to get them to an in-home estimate. Um, yeah, this is what I was telling you before. Be careful about putting all your eggs in this basket. So we get requests like this all the time. I'm in search of a good reputable flooring company, licensed, bonded, and insured. So a lot of people will do this in this thread, in this Facebook ad, and say, hey, use Carpets of Arizona. They're really good. And we have people from our company. Hey, I'll come out and give you a free in-home estimate. I'll see that a lot. I don't ever make a comment in there because all the competition can see it, for one, and two, you're just like everybody else. I always reach out with a private message. And usually the private message is ask one question. The most simplest, the most basic question you can ask. All you're trying to do is get some kind of response, because until they respond to you, you don't have a conversation. What your goal is to get a conversation. So get them to engage with you. Okay. A lot of people won't respond at all, but I've actually had really good success with this. So I reach out with a private message, and in this case, I'd say, hey, Mike, are you looking to do this soon? He can answer yes. Once he's got that answer, bam, I've got him. We can have a conversation. Oh, what part of town are you in? You know, again, a one-word answer. So, I mean, he may give me more information than one word, but just as long as he gives me a one-word answer, now I can engage him in a conversation. I get leads through Yelp like this too. And I've learned, I'm going to show you guys how to engage with people when they call you and when they come into your showroom. But digitally, I found that those ways don't work. And digitally, it's important to start a conversation and asking a question that they can answer with one word. Yes, no, what part of town are you in? So one of my favorite ones is when they call on Yelp, when they reach out to us on Yelp, I get a private message saying, hey, we're looking to replace the carpet in our home. And I said, are you going to sell the home, or is this for you? They usually answer that question. Now I can engage them in a dialogue. And at the end of the day, I want to get these guys on the phone. I want to get an in-home estimate. But telling them stuff like, hey, we're a really good company. We've been in the Valley a long time. We got great low prices. Everybody's saying that shit. So nobody's, nobody responds. They've got 10 people on the thread saying the same thing. Call me. I'm really good. We give free in-home estimates. Oh, I just went over this. I did prepare for this. So something like this, have you seen a tile you like? That's a good one. Because a lot of times we don't know if they already had their material or not. So when do you want to get this done? Simple question. This is my saying, I'm going to teach you later. You can't say that because it's too engaging. It's too much. So I wanted you guys think about this. Got this presentation from Shannon. She used to work for Creating Your Space. She's now independent Facebook advertiser. But think about Lisa. Lisa's here. She's she decided that, or she's on Facebook. She's looking it in. She's in the market for flooring. Oh, wait, this is a different topic. So Lisa's in the market for flooring and she's in research mode. What do you think she's looking for? What's her next move? What's going on in her mind? Considering the type of flooring that she wants. So she's going to do a Google search. She's going to research. She's considering the color, the style. And yeah, she's going to consider the price. And when does trust and reviews come into play? So if you do a Google search for flooring, what's the first thing you're going to see? Well, you're going to see these companies, and you're going to see how many reviews they have, and you're going to see, well, you're going to see their rating and how many reviews they have. So you might click on that just from that. And this is in the map section. So if you guys don't have reviews, start getting them. The best system for getting reviews, just ask. Better than that, send them a Google link so they can go there. That's one thing about reviews. It's a little bit complicated to figure out how to leave somebody a review. Grab your link from Google and send that to your customer. Get help doing that from your web company. If you do it on your computer, it's gonna hook up to your account. So you got to figure out how to do it. Maybe you can do that I haven't tried this, in incognito. That's not, incognito is a private mode, so it won't read your information. You might be able to do it in there. So when she's looking for a company to do business with, she's looking primarily at three things: the location of the company. She wants she wants the location so she can go there. She wants an in-home estimate, or she wants your phone number. So if you guys looked up your website, these are the three things that you should review. These are things that should be on your home page. You know, the one thing about a website, you really need to look at this as a consumer. You know, if you go to your website, is the experience good or is it frustrating? How easy is it to navigate? Well, these are the three most important things for them when they're going to the website. Where are you located at? So we have come into our showroom here on the left. We do free and home estimates. I created that car, and it stands out everywhere. I love that car, just because visually it stands out so well. And then the phone number. We're really easy to do business with. And our website, you can go to our homepage now. It's changed a little bit since then. So you want to see the updates we've made. So what do you suppose is the #1 performing page on our website? Anybody want to take a guess? I want to carpet. So if you click on the carpet link, it used to take you to the carpet catalog. We changed that. About us. That's a great guess. About us, people do go there. I'm surprised how much people do go there. But really, for most people, the most popular is the catalog page, which is surprising. Specials really don't get a lot. So our most popular page is our carpet pricing page. And you guys should visit this at some point and see how I do my pricing. Look, people are looking for information. A lot of us get very defensive when it comes to pricing. We think a customer, if they're asking for a price, all they care about is price. That's not true. They ask for price because they don't know what else to ask. And when you're doing research, when you're looking for a hotel, what's the first thing you want to know? How much they charge. When you're looking for tires for your car, what do you want to know? How much do they charge? All of us as consumers want to know how much other people are charged, but yet when they're coming to us as flooring dealers, we get offended if they ask us, how much do you charge? It's a perfectly legitimate question to ask. It's a reasonable question to ask. Giving them no information is a frustrating experience for them. So giving them some information helps them take the next step. And you don't have to be as competitive as you think. You don't have to offer really low prices. These people are not aware of the prices that we charge or that they should be paying. They're new to flooring. They have no idea how this works. They're just trying to get an idea. I mean, think about these consumers. You know, they are just trying to get an idea of how much this is going to cost them. So there's 5 different kinds of carpet. Anybody want to guess what types, what styles of carpet there are? I'm not going to make you all guess. I'm just going to tell you. So these are the 5 different styles of carpet that you have to choose from. There's carpet for people who are selling their house or renting their house. There's carpet for people that plan on living there 3 to 5 years, and then they're going to sell or rent the house. There's carpet for people that have kids and pets. They've got a lot of action going on, and they're going to probably live there for 10, 15 years. They're going to raise their kids there, right? There's carpet for older people who plan on living in that house the rest of their lives. And then there's Berber and pattern. Those are the 5 different types of carpet there are. It's not polyester, it's not nylon, you know, it's not those things. It's not about the fiber, it's about the customer. And that's what my pricing page is about. If you can start a conversation going on in their mind. Look, if you're selling a house, I have carpet that we keep in stock for people selling their house. If you're selling your house and you want carpet, don't you want to know what that is? If you have, if you plan on living there, you've got a busy family. And I'm advertising to you, we have carpet. And I also tell people, this is what you can expect to spend. So I give you an idea. On this page, I also tell you about measuring carpet, you know, and so I have the videos and I got this idea. If you've ever gone to, I'm a conservative, I get conservative news. And I know if you're liberal and you get liberal news, we're all getting the same kind of information disseminated to us the same kind of way. So when you get those stories, what do? They show you print, and then they show you a video telling you, the print tells you what's in the video. So there's a lot of people that don't want to read or don't want to watch the video. They would rather read the print. So what I did is I created a video with all the content, and then I created print to support it. And I gave people both options. You can either read the print or you can watch the video. And I gave this to my web company. I'm like, here, this is what I want my page to look like. I said this before, we're not in the product business, we're in the people business. I'm selling products based on people and their circumstance, not based on fiber or based on the core of that vinyl product. That just drives me insane how this stuff is constructed. Who cares? You know, how's it going to last in your home? How's it going to clean? How's it going to wear? How's it going to look? I mean, the women that are buying flooring from us, they care more, how's it going to look? That's a funny thing is, you know, the manufacturers, what's the number one they sell about carpet? The number one feature they sell about carpet is how well it cleans. And being new in the business, all I did was listen to customers when they came into my showroom. And I found nobody came into the showroom looking for a carpet that cleans well. If that was their buying criteria, they went to a hard surface. If that was their concern, they'd go to a hard surface. So it's not the number one concern of consumers. So why does the manufacturers make that the number one concern? Furthermore, I've got Mohawk. They come in and we're going over Smart Strand Silk. So these guys are doing their PK session on a brand new product. And I'm looking at their display, and the display is gorgeous. I mean, this thing is lit up. The carpet on there looks beautiful. But as they go through their presentation about Smart Strand and how the wine won't stick to it, and nanotechnology, and how easy it is to clean and how well it wears, they've never mentioned anything about how beautiful the product is. Like, all this wearability, all this crap doesn't mean anything if she doesn't like the way it looks. And if you look at their display, it says nothing about fashion. We're in the fashion business. We're selling good looking products to somebody and investing a lot of money. People aren't out there driving the most reliable car. Not everybody's driving a Toyota Corolla, or a smart car. People are driving cars based on the way they look. That's how they're buying their flooring. All right, so introducing the Home Seller Dream Program. This is something, one of the best marketing programs that we've come up with, and the whole idea was to attract real estate agents. Again, when I started, I knew I wanted to attract realtors, but one of the things I asked myself is, what can I do for them? Instead of saying, hey, we're a good company and we'll do a good job, I wanted to ask myself, it's like, okay, how can I help them? What does a real estate agent want to do? They want to sell that house faster for more money, right? So how can I help them do that? This is not a program to sell more carpet. It's a marketing program. And the idea is to attract realtors. I want the real estate agents to refer me way past that transaction. I care less about the transaction, the carpet transaction. What I want is that, I want 10 years of this realtor referring me, not because we're cheap. They're referring us because we did a good job and we helped them sell a house. It's a fantastic target audience. It's really easy to target realtors. You're not asking them to refer you. You can install it fast because it's in stock, and the buyback program. All right, so let's go over it a little bit, how this works. I gave you guys a couple of handouts. I gave you the flyer, and I gave you the invoice that we use. Okay. And I know I'm missing some of your guys' questions. I'll get back to that when we're done with this segment. So we'll backtrack a little bit and go over some of that. All right. So the opportunity to get in front of the real estate agent, and I think we actually just changed our flyer around again, but this is the one we were using for a couple of years. So new carpet for your listing, a Home Seller Dream Program. It's really important to name your process. Giving something a name, calling it a Home Seller Dream Program is much better than saying, oh yeah, we have this program, well, we'll give you guys carpet and you don't have to pay for it until the house is sold. Okay, that's a difficult message, but having a named program, you can have this for anything. I had created planks. They were cheap luxury vinyl, and I called them rental planks. If you sell planks, luxury vinyl for rental homes, call them renters planks. Doesn't matter what the name is. We have product that was specially developed and priced for rental homes. Here we have renters planks. You can do that with every product in there, in your showroom. So easy way to pay. Now, when we started this program, it was free. Now we do it for $100 down. And the reason I do it for $100 down is for marketing reasons. I was getting jammed up with the message of free because real estate agents are all about rules and laws and being ethical. And so they're like, well, it's not free. Somebody's got to pay for it. I'm like, okay, the person receiving the carpet isn't paying. The person buying the home is paying for it. So the person we were giving it to was free. But rather than getting in an argument, I made it $100 down. Another thing is it's much easier to sell $100 down than it is to sell free. The hardest thing to sell is free. So 5-star financing, don't worry about that. That's an in-house thing we do. But this is another thing that was cool. Now, $100 down, pay in full up front and save 20%. My margins on this carpet are 60%. Okay, if I carry it and finance it, then I am getting a 60% margin. We'll sell it for $425 a square foot. And this is carpet that cost us about $6 a yard. So all in with I also do my prices include furniture move, but we don't move furniture when we're doing the dream program because they've already moved the furniture. So there's a lot of expenses I don't have. At $425 a square foot, we're at 60% margin easily. So if I'm in front of this homeowner though, I can give them that same carpet for $325 a square foot, be at a 45% margin, and make good money. And it gives me an opportunity to sell to somebody I wouldn't have gotten in front of without the dream program. The dream program was a reason that the real estate agent referred us to that customer in the first place. It was because we have a thought out system. We have a system to sell carpet to people who are selling their house. Okay, that makes sense. It gives people a reason to do business with you. So we don't do the financing, and the reason is, Claudio asked, is a great question, that they offer financing through Synchrony. No, because people who are selling their home, they're also buying another home. So they're told not to get anything new on their credit. That's part of the marketing that we do. And then let me handle the buyback program too. He asked about that. I see it's not on this latest ad. I get opportunities to speak in front of real estate agents, and I found the buyback program was fantastic. So what happens if a new homeowner moves in and they don't like the carpet, we will buy that carpet back and upgrade them to another flooring. I can tell you nobody ever did it, but real estate agents love the message. It was very good marketing. So you can offer the buyback program. And if I ever did do it, I would buy that carpet back for maybe $1 a square foot. I would give them $1 a square foot credit on it. And I got brand new carpet back that I can either donate to Habitat for Humanity, I can install in a rental house. But it would work out to our favor. Also, what do I get? I get another customer. So advertising to that person that just moved into a home that will buy that carpet back if you would like to upgrade to a flooring. It's a hard expense for people when they just moved into a home. So, but it's good marketing. And then after we're done, you're staying in touch with this real estate agent because you're trying to get paid. The real estate agent is going to run the paperwork through the title company, and it's the buyer's title company. So we don't know who that is until the house is sold. They're going to run it through along with their commission, and you're going to get your check from the title company. So you're going to stay in touch with that real estate agent and say, oh, how's it going with that house? Any luck selling it? And that's great marketing. You're staying in that person's face and you're befriending them. Let's say they have somebody on the hook and that person falls through. That person's frustrated. Now you're sharing the frustration with them. Okay. Some of the other ways that this program works really well for us is we buy 5 rolls of carpet at a time. I can get terms on that. I can get 60 days to pay for it. Not 60 days. I can get 6 months to pay for, 10 rolls. I can get 6 months on 10 rolls. I can get 4 months on 5 rolls. So I have time to pay for that carpet. So I don't have a lot of upfront costs other than the pad and the installer costs. So you do got to manage your money a little bit with it, and you got to make sure you get paid. But at the end of the day, hopefully we get a realtor customer for life. And we have. I've gotten burned too. So I've gotten burned about 3 times in 4 years. So one of the guys we took to court, and we'll probably never see the money. So on the contract, I have them initial these 6 things. My house is listed with the licensed professional realtor. I make a big deal out of this, that the house has to be licensed. Not because I won't do a for sale by owner, but because I want the real estate agent to know I got their back. I have at least 20% equity in my home. I'm not going to verify that. I'm assuming they do. If they take their home off the market, they agree to pay us in full within 5 days. That's happened too, and we have gotten paid. And they understand we're going to send a lien notice within 20 days. It's a pre-lien. It costs $20 here or $22. And every state is different. So you got to figure out how your state works. If their house is not sold, we have 120 days to put a lien on their house. We're saying we're going to put a lien on within 90 days if the house hasn't sold. And if you want to protect yourself, you can put a lien on it right away. It doesn't hinder the ability to sell the house. It just ensures you're going to get paid. We also say that if your house hasn't sold within 90 days, that they will pay us 20% a month until the house is sold or until we're paid off. Now, I haven't done that, but I get the signature from both the homeowner and the spouse, and I've got the real estate agent's information. So it's good marketing. It works. It gives me a reason to talk to them without soliciting. I told you guys before, who are you competing against? Let's say you're in, I've gone to several real estate agents' offices. They've got the home warranty companies there. They got people that do rekeying. They've got all sorts of people who are selling their service to them. I'm not selling them anything. I'm giving them something that's going to help them sell the house faster for more money. So I kick the competition's ass, and I'm not talking about other flooring dealers. I'm talking about other people who are trying to get them to refer them or use them. You know, while they're trying to solicit them, I'm giving them something that's going to help them sell the house faster for more money. Puts me in a great position. Another thing I love about the Home Seller Dream program is when you're new in a networking group, it's the first commercial I want my salespeople to give at a networking group, because it's a very, very easy marketing message to understand. It's a good message for somebody else to relate, and everybody knows real estate agents. So everybody can say, oh, I know somebody, and they can understand and they can give that message. About the carpet and what you're selling, whenever you bring this out, I don't care how many carpets that you carry in stock, never show a customer more than 2 carpets. Recommend. We've done really well with just a gray and a beige. And what we tell the customers is real estate agents have chosen this carpet to sell the house faster for more money. It's at a good price point. So we can get you this carpet. It's a 35-ounce carpet. Actually, I think it's like a 33-ounce. It looks good. You know, again, it's a polyester, but who cares? But the more choices you give them, the more they want to see. So don't ever give them more than 2 choices. It's very important in that strategy. So do you buy the same color? How many yards are per roll? I think it's 125 feet of carpet. So about 166 yards. You only offer carpet, or can they choose a glue down? Click. Okay, that's a great question. We pretty much only offer carpet, but we have done not click. We've done glue down, but it's really important that we raise our prices on that stuff so we are getting a better margin. Your upfront cost on that stuff is a little bit higher, so you can even take some money down if you want and let them pay the rest when the house is closed. From a marketing perspective, I have included things like paint. I was working with a painter, and what I found is the more I included, the more it watered down the message and the less effective it was. So one of the reasons that you want to keep it for carpet only is because that's a better marketing message. It'll be more effective. So just keep it that one product. You know, the more you offer people, the more it's going to be ineffective in your marketing. Okay, any questions on the dream program? I want to go back to a couple other things that we talked about. Um, some other questions I didn't get to. Okay, Chris said Floor Force is great about meetings and giving advice. They are, but they won't do it unless you ask. Because I know people that, you know, they haven't talked to them, and look, it's on you. I mean, if you use them, you got to do that. Todd is very responsive, too. So holding their feet to the fire is a good thing. Is Floor Force expensive? We use Haibu. Uh, it's only expensive if it doesn't work. It really isn't. I remember I was at a conference and they came out with, oh, what was that called? Mohawk came out with a program that was brilliant. I mean, I would have signed up for that in a heartbeat if I wasn't already doing everything much better myself. But it included all this stuff. God, what was the name of that program? Floor Force ran that for them too. Um, I talked to somebody at lunch and he's like, I'm not spending $12,000 a year. I'm like, shoot, I'm spending like, you know, $5,000 a month right now. I said, that's nothing. I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. He says, okay, I will. And he went back and signed up for that program. Um, you know, again, there's a lot less expensive ways to go that is going to end up costing you a lot more money. Um, the idea behind a Floor Force creating your space is to get results. These guys will get you better results. It's a good investment. I don't know about mobile marketing, what their cost is. Creating your space. I met them at a Shaw conference. Um, I hired 3 different companies, and I know a lot about digital marketing. I've got good friends in the industry. I mean, I'm on this stuff, and I hired 3 companies, and I was not getting the results I was looking for. And I saw they were working for other companies. They did a great job for other companies. They were not doing a good job for me. I came across creating your space at a Shaw conference, and they had this full package deal. I'm like, I want everything. Sign me up for all of it. And um, things just really took off pretty well from that. And it does take, it's very frustrating when you hire a new web company because it does take a couple months. And Floor Force is really good at selling, so it takes longer to get going with them, it seems like. Um, but yeah, if in the beginning, I'll be honest with you, at Floor Force, they were selling me some stuff I didn't think I needed and I didn't want. They convinced me to get some stuff that didn't work out for me. I did use Floor Force. I tried them out in between creating your space. I tried Floor Force out for about 8 months and I went back to creating your space. And I think a lot of the problems I have with Floor Force, they fixed. And I certainly am not going to badmouth them. I like the company. They're doing a good job. Floor Force and Creating Your Space are owned by a company called Broadloom. So um, Christian asked if they're running my SEO. Yes, they are. They're running my SEO and pay-per-click. Yes, they manage that. I get a little bit better rate. Most people charge 20%. I think I get a little bit better rate because of the amount that we do. So yeah, the cost isn't that much. 350, you think it is, Chris? I think I pay them like 1,600 a month, but they do a lot of stuff for us. And I had them break that down into 2 payments. I mean, these guys are great. They'll work with you. Look, I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to uh, the flooring companies too, the what am I saying? The suppliers, the credit managers, don't be afraid of anybody. All these people will work with you. Anybody, if you're behind on your bills, just call them and tell them. Creating your space, I had them split my payments up into two, so it wasn't such a big chunk at one time. And they did it. Yes, Floor Force does ads on Google. I both Creating Your Space and Floor Force, I think, want to get into Facebook advertising more. I think Creating Your Space was doing my Facebook advertising for me. I didn't like the performance. I still have not hired somebody I really love on Facebook. If I do, I will share that with the group. We are trying Shannon out independently, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. Facebook has been just really frustrating to get that working great. Edwin, yeah, I mean, you got to judge that for yourself. Floor Force is wanting you to sign up for leads, but skeptical of the package amount. Um, it, I'm going to tell you guys, it's only going to work if you stay on top of them. And when I hire a company, we're talking every week until that thing is live, and we're talking after it's live, then we're talking at minimum twice a month. But if I see something I don't like or there's a problem, I'm calling them. So don't be shy about calling them. You know, bug them, bug them, bug them. Let them do their work. Oh, this is a great question, Claudia. Is Google the top place to do PPC? I want to tell you guys something we found out when we were doing our analytics. It was over 50% of the people that went to our website or clicked through were over the age of 65. I was shocked. Very, very low amount of people between the age of 25 and 35. I think we cut that segment out of our campaign altogether. Another web browser is Bing. Bing, Bing. They are the people who are older use Bing. I can't remember why, but there's a lot of older folks using Bing. So we've got a budget going into Bing on pay-per-click, and we're watching that. It seems like it's working pretty well though. So also there's a lot of things I did. I haven't shared this with you. Look, one of the ways to control your spend, let's say you're only spending less than $1,000. Quite frankly, spending $2,000 or $3,000 isn't a huge spend. So there's some things you can do to get a better bang for your buck. One, narrow the territory that you're advertising in. Best to stay around your showroom. Okay. Two, narrow your keyword search terms. If you do not sell tile, don't have tile up there. If you, whatever your number one selling product, and also tile is a very expensive keyword. It's a very competitive keyword. I'll tell you, we are so invested in carpet. We don't even spend pay-per-click money on luxury vinyl or even on the flooring category. We get those leads through SEO, but we are heavily invested in carpet, and we outperform all the big boys. Empire, Home Depot, Lowe's. We're the number one in the areas that we advertise in. So I want to find a way for a small budget to go further. And you can get a lot more around one topic in a smaller area than you can trying to spread yourself out. That budget spread out is not going to be as effective. Oh, good question too, Claudio. Do you pay to be a preferred vendor? I have in the past, stuff like that. It's never worked. Preferred vendor programs are mostly bullshit. They don't work. And they'll have you pay to be on a folder. That never works. Don't ever do that. So in the real estate agents, I mean, they can care less if you're on the folder. Christian asked about how long ago did we lower our Yelp spend? It was actually in the last couple of months. I think we were just spending about 1,200. So I've got 2 showrooms. I had one in Glendale. I moved it to another location in Ahwatukee. In Chandler, my presence on Yelp is very good. I don't pay for any advertising in the other showroom because I do not have a good presence in those areas. I don't have enough reviews, so I won't spend any money on advertising in Yelp in those areas. But in Chandler is where I put my spend, and my son is looking at the marketing a lot more and controlling the budget a lot more. I think we should have stayed with it, but it's his call. I'm letting him make the call on the budget side. I'm making the call more on the creative side. But he's really got his hands on the spend. So he called up Yelp. He lowered our spend to, I think, $600 or $800 a month. Oh, I like this question, Chris. How much money or percentage of profit should we use? It's not unusual for somebody to be spending a lot more money in the beginning of your business, upwards of 8 to 10%. I think when things are going good, you're at anywhere from 4 to 5% is probably where your spend's going to be after maybe year 3 or 4. So it's not unusual to be higher though in the beginning. And again, with Facebook, the way our marketing is going, you shouldn't be spending much on print at all. But the Google pay-per-click and all that, now it is getting more expensive. It's getting more competitive. But the way marketing is going, it's actually becoming much less expensive. So having a lower percentage of spend, and that's percentage of sales, not profits. So if you did, let's say you did $1 million last year, so you might have a $50,000 spend. Home seller dream program with house flippers, they usually want better prices. So I won't play in that sandbox. They'll usually pay cash too. But you can use your inventory and sell it to them. At least you have the inventory, and you can tell them all the same, hey, we've got a program for house flippers. It's, you might have to be at $250 a square foot, but I wouldn't carry a 35-ounce carpet for that. And we did just get in a carpet for not for house flippers, but for property management, because we're going to focus on that some this year. And we're going to try it out. But we definitely will be a lower profit margin, but we're finding ways to cut our costs down a little bit. So the cost of FloorForce, I really don't know what they're charging now. I know they just raised their prices. So you ever upsell them, for example, new baseboards or transitions between the different flooring types. So we have done, if they've wanted some stuff like hard surface flooring, what we might do is charge them for the hard surface, but then roll the carpet into the dream program. So at least it saves them a little bit of money, but no, you're not going to upgrade a whole lot when it comes to that, because they don't care. They're just trying to sell the house. How do you cut costs with the property management? We carry an 8-pound pad. So we can go with a cheaper pad, a 6-pound, which we never use, never sell. So for the property management, the cost of the carpet is lower. We get better buys by buying several rolls. So we did make an investment into some rolls to try it out. And another thing you can do is pay the installers less for it. You might have a rate for your installers for regular residential. I can tell you Jason Goldberg pays his installers less for new homes. It's just part of the game. If they want that business, they're going to accept, that lower pay, but they have no furniture to move. Tear out's a little bit easier. There's no homeowner to deal with. So maybe it's a little bit more go and blow, and they can get in and out quicker. So maybe we can lower the rates a little bit on the installers there. And we like to pay our installers really well. So it's nothing we look to do, but we might have to with the property management. How would your contract with property management be? Pay up front, half? No, not necessarily. I think your property management is, you make arrangements and deals with them, and it's gonna be different for everyone. So a lot of them will have a 30-day term. As long as you're getting reliable repeat business. And we did have one property manager we were doing really a lot of work for. They loved us, but they couldn't pay our prices. So we did get in another carpet, and we've reached out to them again. I don't know if we got them back or not yet. Do you employ installers or do you contract? There are contractors. They're contracted out. We give a lifetime guarantee on our installs, and that's backed by the company, not the installer. So we did bring in somebody in-house that knows installations. Man, it really improved our customer experience. So in the nice thing is where we're at in business, we're attracting some really talented people. Between salespeople, we just hired somebody from Indiana that's just a total freaking rock star as a salesperson. And he's helping us a lot with the contract stuff. He's been in the flooring business a lot longer. He was an installer. So he's helped us with a lot of these things as well. All right. Okay, guys, I am going to take a little bit of break and go potty and get some water. And then when we come back, we will dive into our sales presentation. All right. See you all in a couple minutes, about 10 minutes. All right, let's talk about the sales presentation. And I'll talk about right from the opening, the first phone call, the first contact that you make to closing the sale. So it's something I can't stress enough. Those of you that are on the call, especially those of you who are owners or managers, this is the biggest mistake that they make. Don't just learn these sales techniques. You got to teach them to your entire team, including your bookkeeper who answers the phone, your parents who are helping you out, anybody in your company, all the salespeople. Some people take a master class and they do a lot of selling themselves. So they apply the principles to themselves, maybe some of the times, but they don't teach it to the other people that work at that company. And it's just really important that everybody learns what I'm going to teach you here. So how do you answer these questions? How much do you charge for carpet? You've gotten this phone call, right? Or what brand of bamboo flooring do you carry? Or how much do you charge to install tile? Now, I need a volunteer, somebody to unmic themselves that's kind of new to me too. Somebody who hasn't taken a class and somebody I haven't done one-on-one coaching with. Somebody who would like to play along.
Okay,
All right. Who is that?
Jamie.
Oh, Jamie. Perfect. Okay, Jamie. So, have you ever gotten that call before? Somebody calls you up and say, "Hey, how much do you guys charge for carpet?"
Yeah, sure. And they all seem to be in a hurry.
Yeah. So, how would you guys answer that?
Well, you know that they're shopping and that you want to slow them down. And personally, I want to get it personalized. So kind of communicate that I'm the expert and
Hang on, let's take a step back, and I want you to treat this like a real phone call. I just called you and I said, "How much do you guys charge for carpet there?" And answer that as if I'm the customer on the line.
well, there's a lot of choices. It's not easy to give you a number right off, but I would tell you that we're not the least expensive. So if you're shopping strictly price, I would be very careful.
So I want to give you guys the way to answer that question. Everybody write this down and make sure everybody answers this question this way every time. So you're going to say, "Tell me about your project. What are you working on?" What we end up doing is give them a bunch of irrelevant answers, because a lot of people will say, "Hey, it depends on," first of all, it's the attitude. We always get a defensive attitude that they're shopping around for price. And again, it's a legitimate question. And so don't feel bad because that's how everybody reacts, right? And then we give them a bunch of irrelevant responses. Well, it depends if you're going to live there a long time. We've got nice stuff. We got polyester. We got nothing, so they give a bunch of irrelevant options, instead of just let's take a step back and just try to figure out what their project is. So first thing, tell me about your project. What are you working on? Now, does anybody carry bamboo flooring?
Sure.
Or does anybody not? Okay, well, Chris, let's get you on here.
Go ahead.
I called you up and I said, "Hey, you guys carry bamboo flooring?" Or no, I didn't say that. I said, "How much you guys charge for bamboo flooring?" What if I say that?
My answer would be I don't carry bamboo. I've had a lot of experience with it in the industry in general. It's a bad product and we just don't take a chance with it.
Okay,
if
so
we have
here's
other-
how I want you to answer that question going forward. Well, tell me about your project. What are you working on? I mean, how many times does somebody come into your showroom with a tile that they're trying to match? And what's the first thing we say? "Oh, no, we don't carry that tile. And you won't be able to find that anywhere," something like that. Instead, we should all be saying, "Well, tell me about your project. What are you working on?" Why don't we get to a point where we understand what it is that they're working on rather than answer that question? So the more I understand them, the more I can help them out. So if they want bamboo and I say, "Well, tell me about your project. What are you working on?" They may say, "Well, we're redoing the living room. I found a bamboo I really like, and I really wanted that." Oh, okay. So is that basement heated, or is that, you might ask some more questions about that and say, "Well, let me tell you, have you thought about something else to go down in there? Because I don't recommend the bamboo." So I can have a little bit different conversation with them. I can have a better conversation with them, and I can lead them into something else when I don't have what they're looking for. Now, come on, we all get the tile customer. I mean, I get probably 4 or 5 a week that come in here with tile. We don't sell tile at all. I stopped selling tile completely. So they come in, they want to match the tile that, and we know they can't match it anywhere else in town. So tell me about your project. What are you working on? Well, we decided to extend out the tile in this area. You know, we work with a lot of customers and it's always very difficult to find that match in tile. Can I make a recommendation to you? Yeah, I'm asking their permission to show them something else or to make a recommendation. Nobody's going to say, no, I'm going to keep looking. They're not going to be a jerk, but let's make a recommendation. So maybe we can move these people down the funnel to an appointment. But if we reject them when they first come in and say, no, we don't have that tile, what are they going to do? They're going to turn around and look for it someplace else. And we know they can't find it anyplace else. So why don't we try to handle that? Why don't we try to sell to that customer since nobody else can? Okay, they're going to have to make a transition somehow. So, but we can't recommend that until we get into that. Now, we don't sell tile. So if they come into our showroom looking for tile, the first thing we say, tell me about your project. What are you looking at? And then we may say, let me ask you a question. Are you dead set on tile or would you be open to other things? So usually they'll answer, yeah, well, what else do you have in mind? And then we can show them the other products that we carry. But if we say, no, we don't carry tile because it's a bad customer experience, it's hard to find install. If we give them all the reasons, they're going to be defensive about their position and insist on getting the tile. So a lot of this stuff is human nature stuff. And it's better to understand than be understood. The other thing is it's good to validate what they already believe. Okay, so with tile, people are looking at tile, and since we don't carry it, I could say, wow, there's a lot of great looks out there. These are the reasons that we don't carry tile, and these are the reasons we don't recommend it. But if I just say, oh, no, we don't do tile, tile's no good because of blah, 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 they're going to dig in their heels. So you got to walk that fine line and ask permission to show them something else. But let's get back to the price question, because this is the most relevant one that we come across. Happens on the phone, happens when they come in our showroom. I had a customer come in the other day and they saw, I don't ever sell, but I happen to be the only one here when these people came in, and they just came from Home Depot and they wanted a carpet for $2 a square foot. I don't have anything for $2 a square foot. I'll install your pad for $2 a square foot. That's about it. So, but I didn't say I don't have anything for $2 a square foot. I said, well, tell me about your project. What are you working on? They said, oh, we're redoing everything in the master bedroom. We're redoing our master bedroom. Okay. Are you guys selling the house or do you plan on living there? And they said, oh no, this is for us. I said, well, let me show you some stuff. I said, it's not $2 a square foot, but let me show you a couple things. I showed them Bolera, which is a polyester we carry. It's it's about $680 a square foot is our lowest price on Bolera right now. And we can give a discount like 15-20%. But it's our top selling carpet by far. I show them the carpet, they fall in love with it, give them a price based on their measurements. It was about $2,400. And they said, oh boy, we were hoping to spend about $1,500. I said, all right, let me go look at something else. I bring them something from Dreamweaver. That got the price down to about $2,000. But it doesn't have the blue backing on it. It's not as nice of a carpet. I just gave a great presentation. Hey, this is for our bedroom. They loved me. They loved the presentation. They trust the company because we got a good kick-ass presentation I'm going to share with you. So, and they just had a horrible experience at Home Depot where they said that they could sell them carpet for $2 a square foot. I sold the Bolera at $2,400. They paid me in full there. I never went out to their house and measured. But again, it starts with that first question. Tell me about your project. What are you working on? And I don't care if it's your bookkeeper, I don't care if it's your parents or who's answering the phone. Somebody that's been in business for 35 years, everybody should be answering that first question this way, especially when it's a price question, especially when they're saying, how much do you charge? Tell me about your project. What are you working on? Okay, let's get into some more questions. So on the phone, what's our goal? We either want to get them into the showroom or we want them to schedule an in-home estimate. So you're going to ask some probing questions now. First, what is your project? What are you working on? And let's just take this down with carpet. I usually ask, how long do you plan on living in the home? Are you selling the home? Because my conversation is going to be completely different. If they say we're selling the house, oh, we have this program called the Home Seller Dream Program. Have you heard about it? No? Oh, okay, let me tell you about it. Or if they're going to live there, I found they live there 3 to 5 years and they're going to sell it, or they're going to live there the rest of their lives. But I can have a conversation based on how long they plan on living there. So what kind of action do you have going on? Now, again, if they're selling the home, I don't care about the action they have going on, right? It's not relevant. So we're just talking about giving them a carpet so they can sell their home. If they're going to live there a little bit longer, then I need to know what kind of action do you have going on? Kids, pets? And then what part of town do you live in? That's a great question to ask. Because at some point in this conversation, you're going to offer to go out there and give them an in-home estimate. How did you hear about us is good too. You want to know if they heard about you online or if it was a referral from a friend. And I don't know if I say it a little later in this slide, but let me address it here. It used to be we gave people an option to either come into the showroom or to have an in-home estimate. Now what I recommend you do is just offer an in-home estimate. If they want to come into the showroom, they'll ask and then they'll come in. But if you offer them both, they may say, well, I'll come into the showroom, and they may never get there because they'll stop at another store along the way that they saw, or they don't get around to it. So go for the in-home estimate if you can.
Quick question on that.
Yeah.
Would you say that's as easy to do with hard surface as it is with carpet?
Oh, great question. So questions are going to be a little bit different. I find when somebody has a hard surface, that they're not selling the home usually, but you can probe a little bit more on hard surface. I think hard surface is a lot more massaging of that relationship too. And you want to find out what colors and styles and things like that they have. So it would start off with, tell me about the project. What are you working on? And here's another thing with hard surface. I find people will ask for something that we don't carry or we don't recommend, or they don't understand the lingo. And it's really important that you don't explain the lingo to them because they don't care. They want some flooring. But I had a customer call asking for laminate. And again, I can bring out some laminate. Do you mind if I bring out a couple other options? No, that would be great. Okay. Again, what part of town are you in? I mean, action that they have going on in their home, all of the products that we carry would hold up well to whatever action they have going on in the home. But I might want to know, is this upstairs, downstairs, or single level? Do you have stairs? Or is this a single story? So there are other probing questions I'm going to ask. I want to know what the tone that they're looking for is. Just so I have an idea, so I can bring some samples out. Hard surface, I'm going to show you guys how to close the sale in the home. Hard surface is a little bit more complicated than carpet, and it's also a little bit more complicated to do when they haven't come to the showroom first. I would prefer that they come to the showroom first because of the selection and the styles, but I'm going to try and schedule the in-home estimate. Some of these other probing questions, like what part of town do you live in? Yeah, that leads you to get into the appointment. How did you hear about us? Finding out some of the things that's important to them. Asking them about what action do they have going on in the home or how long do they plan on living there is good because it can help you understand them better. Now, again, let's go back to this. So I'm going to go back to carpet. If they're going to live there 3 to 5 years, then my conversation is like this. One thing that's good about this carpet is it's going to last you good for a few years, and then you're going to easily be able to clean it up it's going to look good so you won't have to replace it when you're ready to sell the home. Again, that's not about the fiber, that's about them. You're going to be able to experience this, enjoy it, and then when you're ready to sell the home, you're not going to have to replace it. You know, it's the same thing with any hard surface. You know, is this a starter home for you? Are you going to live there a long time? Well, let me show you something I would recommend. If this isn't your forever house, then I would recommend this product versus this product. If you're only going to live there a few years, then you don't need the Cadillac of products necessarily. You know, unless they express that's what they want. They want top of the line. They want a really good look. They want beveled edges, you know, so you can have that conversation. Great conversation to have, because again, the more you understand them, the better off you are. One thing I learned is I don't matter. You know, how long I've been in business, my experience, all that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is them. You know, what do they want it for? When do they want it? How are they going to live on it? You know, how do they want to take care for it? What styles are they looking for? You know, what's going to mean something to them? I'm going to blow through this a little bit because not everybody's into this, but if you ever wanted to work on a greeting for your store, there's some stores that have a really good story and you could tell a really good story. But I mean, it works good for a greeting, but this isn't going to be a game changer for you. A good question to ask any customer that comes into your store, especially if you have a bigger store with a lot of salespeople, is saying, is this your first time here? Because if it's not their first time here, you might want to direct them to the salesperson they are working with. But if this is the first time here, great, let me tell you about the place. So you can give them a little story, a little background story. After a brief, successful career, Jimmy Walker decided to open a flooring store to give his customers a dynamite experience. I worked with somebody that used to work for Home Depot. His story was he didn't like the experience the customers were having, so he decided to open up a store so he can give customers better flooring at a better price and give them better experience. Great story, you know? So if you have a good story like that, a romantic story, especially if you're a salesperson, as the owner, it's your responsibility to give your salespeople a good, sexy story that they can tell. You know, it's like, I see Russ on the screen. I'm going to take Russ for example. So let's say the salesperson is working with them. So one thing I love about working here is Russ does a great job taking care of our customers. You know, he wants everybody to have a good experience and a 5-star experience. So that's one thing I love about working at this company. That's good material for them to sell. I'm going to talk to you about the owner's promise guarantee later too. So after your introduction, you might ask them, how did you hear about us? And then you can ask them, what's your, you know, they'll give an introduction. So tell me about your project, what you're working on. So yeah, actually, let's do this. Anybody want to give up their story? Need a volunteer. And talk about your business a little bit.
Well, our store, we bought it. We're the third family to own this store. It was opened in 1957 from the original owner.
Okay.
One of their sales rep bought it for his family, and now I bought it. He sold it to his daughter, and then she's my mentor. I bought it from her, and I work with all my family because my other business is I have an installation service that works for all other flooring stores. So when we talk with our customers, we're like, oh, we're like a family heirloom. We're a family-owned business. We've been through 3 different families, but we all carry the same core values, which is great product at a great price and great customer service. And that's how we pitch it to our customers. And that's on our website, details all that story.
What's the name of the company?
MB Carpets and Flooring. It used to be Meadowbrook Carpets, but when I bought it from her, she's like, we don't get customers looking for Click-In or LVT. They think we just do carpet. So I kind of changed up the name, but kept the MB for Meadowbrook.
And what's the name of your installation company?
Elite Coverings of Texas. And we do, we specialize in healthcare work. So, you know, sheet vinyl, OR rooms, all that. That's kind of our background. And so we decided, we've been installing her work for probably 15 years, my parents and my, you know, my family. And so whenever she was about to sell it, instead of closing it down, she's like, well, you have the same background as me. You should buy it. You're a family. So, and your family does the labor. So you're going to take care of it more than me just selling it off to someone who doesn't have that background.
And so you do installations for other companies as well as your company, and are
They,
the-
obviously, they operate separately, but we own that company as well. So whenever we tell our customers, like, we have our own install service that we've been doing for 25 years. That's our main thing. And so we've transitioned into selling the product. So it kind of gives customers a sense of safety, knowing that the installer is the one overseeing the sale. It's not just trying to sell off the product.
I mean, that's actually huge. So telling people, you know, welcome to MB Carpet and Flooring. Have you ever been in here before? No? Oh, let me tell you about the place. We actually own another company called Elite Coverings of Texas. That's the installation arm of our company. So the nice thing about us is we're handling your install. It's not a subcontractor that we don't know of. That's what a lot of companies around here do. They hire subcontractors. We take care of everything in-house. So we control the customer experience to make sure that you have a good experience for your flooring job. What brings you in here today? So you can tell a sexy story and give them confidence in you, but you're also making them afraid about using somebody else.
Exactly.
So, you know, you can massage that story and make it sexy and make it, you know, very interesting. And you could talk about your Elite installation process. So we'll get into that, how you have the Elite.
If they just want installation, they click over and it takes them to our other website, and vice versa. And on our install team, if you're looking for, you know, the product, click here, and takes us to, it reroutes it to our main webpage. So a great question we always get, well, do you offer the service? And we're like, we offer both. If you want just the service, we can do that. If you want just the product, we can do that, or we can take care of it all.
Yeah. You might even develop a name for that, you know, like a concierge service or something to say that, you know, it's complete and elite. I don't know. You can come up with a name.
That.
Yeah, that again, it's sexy, it's fun, and it's in order to give you a 5-star experience. I'll talk about this. I got it in a few slides later. We'll talk about a friction-free experience. But I often find that there's people like you that have this little background. You just have to romanticize the story a little bit. You know, sex sells. There, a lot of us consider ourselves educators in the flooring industry because we want to educate our customers. But who gets paid more, an entertainer or an educator? So entertainers make a lot more than educators. So when you're on these videos and you're doing this stuff, you can get a lot further by adding that little bit of sex in it, adding a little bit of entertainment, make it fun, name your products, name your process. Okay, so when you're in their home, we have an idea what they're looking for, how long they plan on living there, what kind of action they have. And now it's discovery time, you know, color, style, durability, what's important to them. The features, the benefits, oh yeah, and the price. And the price is important to them. All right, so grab this flyer here. I've got a million of these flyers. I don't know why I have a black and white version sitting in front of me. I printed it out to make sure it would work for you guys. There's the flyer. All right. So I want to walk you through our process when we're selling carpet. So one thing we want to offer is what's called a friction-free experience. I had this conversation with a mentor and went to his mastermind out in Florida. And we're at the hotel and I said, man, wouldn't it be great if they would deliver my bags right to my room and I had my key so I didn't have to stop at the front desk. And he said, well, they actually do. It's a friction-free experience. They'll pick up your bags from your house and deliver it to your hotel and provide you with your keys. So you don't ever have to stop at the hotel or stop at the front desk. And I can't stand waiting. Rental cars or anything. I'm always looking for a friction-free experience. And a lot of customers are like that. That's what they want. So what we did is we create that friction-free experience with our flyer here. Now, what I've teach people to do is take whatever that you do that's ordinary and make it extraordinary. So how this ends up working, customers come into our showroom and we start showing them samples and they'll see the price and they'll ask a price question. And they'll say, is that just for the carpet or is that installed or is that per yard or per foot? Because our prices are really high here. So they think it's per yard sometimes. And we say, well, no, let me show you how it works. And sometimes the salespeople don't grab the paper and I bust them on it on our Monday morning meeting. Every time, grab the paper, grab your sheet, and you go over the process with the customer. And because without the sheet of paper, if you just tell them what you do, they're never going to remember, and you're just another company. This gives you validation for everything that you say. It gives them confidence in using you, and it makes them afraid about using the competition. That's why I could sell that customer $2,400 worth of carpet when they were looking at maybe $1,200, $1,300 from Home Depot, because Home Depot has no process. They couldn't show them this. So first thing what we're going to do is give you a guaranteed, accurate, no surprises quote. We took off the no surprises, but that should be in there. It's in the lingo there. And we don't ever read everything to them. We just go over the highlights and everybody knows what they are. We give you a love your carpet guarantee. So if you don't love the carpet, we'll actually replace it for you. And that's your guys' choice if you do that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you this is our presentation. The love your carpet guarantee is very funny too. I found you've got to be careful about that because sometimes that repels customers. They go, oh, I would never do that to you. So if they do that, you're making them feel bad. So you got to gloss over that and get past it. Sometimes they dig in and say, oh, I wasn't satisfied with the last company that used us. You know, that's awesome. So, and I can tell you the love your carpet guarantee 3-4 times a year at best. So what we'll do, we're gonna, after you place your order, we order the carpet right away. We're gonna schedule the installation and then we'll confirm with you the day before. Okay, everybody does that, right? But we're walking them through the process. We do free furniture move. Look, our furniture move's all built into our price. You know, we want to offer a friction-free experience. Having a customer move their own furniture is a horrible experience. Then my guys, my installers they're going to tear out your carpet. We'll throw your carpet away. So we're not going to leave it on the sidewalk there. So what happens when you say that? I mean, they're wondering if Home Depot, do they just leave the carpet on the sidewalk or does the other customer just leave the carpet on the sidewalk? You know, everybody throws it out, but you know, maybe they don't. Now, some people roll it up and leave it neatly. If that's your process, then I would talk about that. We roll it up and leave it neatly on the sidewalk so it can be disposed of. And then my guys sweep the floor and inspect the tack strip. So we don't leave it like a bunch of dirt and debris underneath and just cover it over with the pad. Then we treat your floors with Dumbo spray. All right, Dumbo spray has been huge. Dumbo spray kills dog urine, mold, mildew, bacteria, and odors. I made up Dumbo spray out of whole cloth. I know this is the experience I wanted my customers have. So I'm like, find out whatever does this and let's do this. So it's a TSP, I think it's called. It's a, what do you call it? An enzyme treatment. We mix it in. I think we put some bleach in there just for odor. But fantastic experience. If a customer has carpet, let's say they moved into the house and it smells like dog urine, they're gonna definitely use you because you treated their floor and killed that. Again, a cost, I don't upcharge, it's built into our price. We give a lifetime guarantee on the installation. So any seams or stretching that it needs, we'll take care of it. All the people I've ever talked to in this business that don't offer a lifetime guarantee, I give them the challenge. If your customer calls you back, let's say 3 or 4 years later, and that carpet is buckling, will you take care of it? In most cases, they will. So just offer the lifetime guarantee. You're going to take care of it anyway, so you might as well just give them the guarantee. And then we do free snow shoveling. Now we did have, we actually had a free carpet pad upgrade. My son took that out to give us an opportunity to raise our margins. So we give them an 8-pound, 1/2-inch pad. It doesn't have the moisture barrier on it. The other reason is we sell a ton of Bolera, so you don't need the moisture barrier because that is waterproof. Nothing can get through to the pad anyway. And by doing that, we've seen our margins, our profit margin go up. We didn't adjust our prices at all. Okay. Any questions on that flyer? Oh, another big point. If you are an owner of your company and you would offer, would you go out there and if a customer has a problem, would you as the owner go out there and take care of it or take a look at it? If the answer is yes, now I'm asking you guys a question because me as the owner, I'm not going to do that. So I don't offer this. But if you will, then offer the owner's promise guarantee. We guarantee you'll be happy. You know, and you're going to say that again, this is ammunition for your salespeople. One thing I love about working for this company is Russ is the owner, and we know that if there's anything wrong, he'll personally go out there and take a look at it. And so that's what we have, the owner's promise guarantee. And that's one thing that's great about this place. You know, again, it gives the salespeople ammunition to sell your product, your brand, and your company. I don't know if I answered the lifetime guarantee. I did answer it. So I don't know if that was good enough for you, Jamie. Yes, we have had people that didn't like their carpet and we've replaced it. And it happens, you know, whether you offer the guarantee or not, they're not going to like the carpet. So either they don't like the carpet and you're going to get into a battle, or you replace the carpet. And it has jammed us up where, let's say we're selling Dreamweaver and they don't offer us that. I mean, we're aligned dealers with Shaw and Mohawk, so we get that from those guys. The Love Your Carpet guarantee, I think, is good. You could live without it. I don't think it's like vitally important, but you can see this entire process and experience that you can offer them. And does it include installation? We've never charged anybody installation, so yeah. But we did have to create a form though, because we did have a problem a couple of times. It's like, one, we provided the carpet that you bought and installed it. So we did our job right. This is something that we're offering you. So in order to take care of the Love Your Carpet guarantee, one, you have to pay for it in full. You got to pay for the balance of your job. Two, you got to understand this is going to take a couple, 2 to 3 weeks. Three, we ask you to live with the carpet for a couple of weeks, because once you get your furniture back in and you live on it, it does change a little bit. So you might find that you like it. So we just ask that you live with it for a couple weeks, and then we'll gladly replace it if you want. I have one customer that was complaining about, they weren't really complaining about footprints. I walked in the house and I knew they did not want footprints. This showed it would show the footprint of an ant. This showed everything. I was like, oh my God. And we called them and said, hey, if you guys want this replaced, we'll replace it. I mean, I know you didn't want any footprints. After about 3 weeks, I mean, we called them a couple of times. I mean, we were on top of it. And they said, you know what, it's fine. You know, we vacuumed it and all that, and it seems to settle down. It's not that bad. Great. Details on the 0% cash is same as cash financing. That customers don't want that as much as you would think. To me, a really good salesperson would offer financing and roll that in and show customers. There's Wells Fargo, which is better than Synchrony right now as far as the same as cash financing. But let's say you've got a project that's $12,000 and you want to give them 0% financing for, say, 24 months. You know, a good salesperson is going to say, you know, it's either $12,000 or $500 a month. So you can offer that, but there is a cost for that financing. So got to be careful about that. What do you consider a lifetime? Oh, I'm not worried about it. I mean, you know, look, any language that you have, first of all, I'm going to take care of the customer. I'll get repeat referral business and all that. You know, so taking care of a customer will never bite you in the ass. We've always sold pretty good products. So I've been maybe called 2 times, maybe 3 for restretching. I mean, not even a year. I mean, 3 times in the last 6 years, I've probably been called for restretching. I only got called once for a bad seam, and that was, you know, that was a few months after, and that guy actually left a bad review on Houzz. My operations guy dropped the ball on that. We went out there, took care of it right away. He redid the review and went from I would never recommend them to I'd highly recommend them. So, I mean, it just doesn't happen often enough to worry about it at all. And it's a lifetime guarantee on the installation, not on the product. Okay, anybody like to volunteer to just, let's throw out a process here.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, Christian. So let's go through your, give me a product to work on.
We
What-
do mostly wood floors, mostly hard surface, a
Oh.
little bit of carpet.
God, that's perfect. I mean, anybody doing wood floor should be freaking killing it in this industry, I swear. And that is all about presentation.
Yes.
So, wood floors. So, do you do in-home estimates?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you can you offer a guaranteed, no surprises estimate?
We offer an accurate quote, except for unforeseen site conditions, which we all know sometimes happens. With hard surface, it's more crucial that subfloor is level than with carpet.
Oh, these guys took it off my flyer. I'm gonna kill them for this. My son took this off the flyer. The other flyer you have talks about the ultimate flooring experience. And this would be a cool thing for you guys to add. I mean, you can have a product let's say you have products that range from $12 to $15 a square foot. You can offer them all for one price and just make more money on the cheaper stuff. The easier you make it for people to make a buying decision, the better off it is. You don't have to have this incredible accuracy for price. So you could offer something like, what we have here is the ultimate flooring experience. That's the other flyer I gave you guys. And again, a friction-free experience. Usually if you're getting new wood floors, you're going to have to address the baseboards, right? So you might as well build that into the package than making it an afterthought.
With I find that for myself with carpet, it's a little bit easier with on the wood with things like stairs and subfloor prep that makes it a little bit harder.
Stairs is different. Subfloor prep I'll give you, but if you can charge enough money up front to cover your subfloor prep, I would do that. Stairs is different, but stairs all the same. Look, I never understood in this industry why people don't dumb this down and make it simpler. I know on carpet, on average, there's 15 steps in a home. On average, I need 12 feet of carpet, which is actually more than I need. So, and I don't want people counting steps or measuring it or trying to figure out how much material we need. We know how much we need. Unless the step's like really long, I think in hard surface, we haven't figured it out as well. And we need to take the time to do that in here. We've talked about it a couple of times. But to give somebody one price that would cover it and cover it in any style that they want to do would be a very good, sexy presentation. So offering the stair nose, you can offer it for $200 a step, do a quick count of the steps and give them one price. Let's say it's 15 steps. It's $3,000 to do the stairs. That covers your material, your labor, and we can do it with we call it Victorian style when it has the white face on it. That's the other thing is like nobody named this process where you put the white face on it. So I call it Victorian style. We do the same thing with carpet with the wood face. We call it Venetian style when it has the vinyl on the face of the stairs. But again, having these processes, having these names, having it all together makes it really easy for my salespeople to sell. It makes it easy for customers to understand and makes it easy for them to buy because we're offering things like the Venetian style or Victorian style that other people aren't offering them. And what they're doing is waiting for customers to ask. So then they got to figure out the material, the labor, they got to figure everything out. Well, we should have all that figured out already and have a good idea. And we don't need to figure out the least amount we need. We need to figure out the most amount we need. Your job is not to save your customers money. Your job is to do a great job for them and give them a good experience. So I would have, I would build a sexy as hell thing around wood. I've been wanting to do this for years and haven't done it. We don't even sell wood here because I haven't built a good presentation for it. But so you can name your process. What's the name of your company?
Simple Floors.
Simple Floors. Okay. Well, we don't want Simple Floors as a process. So what's the wood or the brand? Where do you guys live?
We're stores in San Francisco Bay, California.
San Francisco Bay. So you guys have the giants out there. And then you're in the Bay Area. What wood flooring brand do you like and are you selling?
We like some of the local importers that do really good jobs. One of them is not widely known, but we do really good with it. It's called Compass.
Okay. What do you like about their wood?
I like the most important thing that I like about their wood is that their color selection is really close to what people are looking for today.
Okay.
And that's, for me, I think that's the most important thing that sells a job.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's all about design, right? Color and style. What about the finish on it? What do they use?
It's 7 coats aluminum oxide.
7 coats. Um, I mean, and what's the benefit of that?
You know, the benefit of the coats is, depending on who I'm competing against is really how I would formulate that response. But sometimes the finishes could be thick and cloudy, or or not as abundant, or one of the sales things we say about the product is, because we do 7 coats, it's thinly spread, very clear. You can see the wood grain a lot better. Some of our competitors use thicker coats, less of them, milkier finish. You can't see the grain as well.
So something
That's what's different. There's
built
things
into
that
it?
are similar, like the construction. Engineered construction is not going to be much different from brand to brand. But
Okay. So incorporating like a true color design. One thing I like about this flooring, and it could be 7 coats. You could brand that because you can easily make up a like an insignia, like a coat of armor. But 7 coats with true design or true color, and sell the fact that one of the things I love about this flooring, it's exclusive to us. It's 7 coats, true color design, and so the durability is great, but the finish is great. It doesn't have that cloudy, milky finish that some of the other floorings have. It gives you the true color, the true design that you're going for. It gives you that rich, real wood look, you know. So again, this can all be built into a presentation. Um, there's You can create that process where you talk about I talk about naming the process, and it could be again, I'm not sure I like the simple floors for a process, but it could be, we want to talk about the installation. We call it the ultimate flooring experience here. Just coming up with a name, you can do that in the shower. It happens on a long drive when you're not least expecting it. But how do you guys provide the estimate?
so we are going. For us, most of the time, our clients come into the showroom first.
Okay.
About 20% of the time, we come to their house first, but most of the time they come to the showroom first, and they look at a product, pick a few samples. The consultation is set. We go do the consultation, and then numbers are provided to the salesperson to get the estimate ready.
Okay, so you can talk about that. So the process, you have somebody that goes out and measures it, gets all the details. So it can be a guaranteed accurate estimate, and would right, true right. You come up with a name of that process and describe that process to them so they understand. So when they come in, okay, here's our process. This is what we do, and you're walking them through. First, we come out and we have, what's the name of the guy that goes out and does the measuring, and
Yeah,
you want to talk
yeah.
about that.
Sometimes that's me. But one thing I'll tell you about our presentation is, a lot of the times when we leave the home from the consultation or after we've made the sale, it's really simple to say something like, "See, that was simple."
Okay. Well, and incorporate simple designs. I mean, don't go by what I say. Just creating that name, creating that process is that, and we want this. We want this to be simple for you. We want it to be enjoyable for you. It. A lot of companies make it much more complicated than it needs to be, but we do it simple, and we do it right. And again, you want to offer them everything that you do, and do it right, and do it for one price. Again, we're at 1088 a square foot, includes tile tear out, includes all appliances, and we've broken it down. The 1088 is actually high, but when customers see it and all the stuff we give them, they're like, wow, that's great. And they don't start nickel and diming and choosing, well, what if we move the furniture? What if we do this? What if we tear out the flooring? And we just talked about this in our meeting is we did our showroom in here. We tore out the flooring. It took the guys 8 hours of prep to get it ready to install the new flooring. So even though we tore it out, there's still a lot of work to do. So if a customer's tearing out their own flooring, there's still a lot of work for us to do, right? But walk through the process, give them the ultimate experience, give them the option to buy everything. Talk about the tear out process, talk about the leveling, why that's important. Do you do a moisture check? Why that's important. Don't assume that they know anything, because they don't. Customers don't know. They have no idea what to expect. So make it sexy, make it complicated enough that your competition can't say the same thing. Make it unique to you. Be how long you've been in business, how long you've been doing this process. This is the reason we offer a guarantee because of this process. So build that story and make it so nobody can compete with you. Our goal is that we're the most expensive company and people go with us anyway. I don't want to win jobs based on price. I want to be the most expensive, but they trust and like us. So they go with us because they'd rather do business with us and get it done right than cut corners.
You said you don't sell flooring, and we don't sell flooring either. I tell my people we sell peace of mind.
I mean, it's kind of nirvana. And we can get into that. But again, how many other people would say the same thing? And that's one thing you can look at with your marketing and your advertising. It's like, how many people can say exactly the same thing you can? Usually you can take the name of your company and replace it with a different name and everybody can say the same thing. But if you build this process like we're talking about now, then there's nobody that can say the same thing. There's nobody that can be as unique as you can, talking about the materials in a way. Now, what's good about your materials is the durability, the ease of cleaning, and the true color that they get, the looks. Don't tell them it's good because of the core and explain what the core is. Who cares? I'm looking at, that's one of the things that frustrates me with wood flooring is all the details that they give that customers don't understand, the dent rating and all this other crap that they don't understand and they don't care about. And I've got 3 products in here: RevWood, which is the laminate. I've got Pergo Extreme, and I've got Coralock from Car and Dean. All 3 of those products are made differently, but all 3 of those products give the customer the exact same experience. The installation is about the same. It's all the same. The only difference between these 3 products for the customer is going to be how they look. They're all scratch resistant. They all got waterproof, cover on top. So, at the end of the day, does all this construction matter, or does the customer experience matter? So your installation process, your guarantee, go through, build the process, show them what it's like. I'll tell you another thing. You know what sells good wood flooring? Bad wood flooring. You need to show them what to watch out for. You need to have some bad wood flooring. Go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, buy some wood flooring there so you can show people what to watch out for and why you don't install that stuff. So it's always good to give them confidence, but also a little bit of fear. You want them to be afraid not to use you. And it's not by bad mouthing the competition. I don't suggest anybody badmouth the competition. But by telling them that you do these things puts it in question what your competitor does. Oh, here, I cover that. Will you as the owner inspect any problem? I'm telling you, owner's promise guarantee is fantastic. Because people love that peace of mind. They love doing business with small businesses. You think they're going to get the owner of Home Depot to come out and take a look at their floors? Hell no. Yep, what can you tell them your competition can't? So this is really important in sales, is trying to close the job in the home, trying to sell in the home. And a lot of people will say, hey, I need to work up a price. What do you need to work up? It's square footage times material, square footage times labor. There's your price. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about closing in the home and how important it is. When you go out to dinner, do you know what is the most psychologically, what is the most enjoyable part about going out to dinner? Hang on one second, guys.
That big steak.
The ambiance and the service.
The wine.
The wine. When you get the wine.
Okay, that beat me.
So what did you say? The service?
Being able to take off your mask.
Being able to, yeah, well, okay, you might be right about that now. I'm gonna have to revise this. So actually, they've done a study on this and they found the most enjoyable time for a customer when they're at a restaurant is after they've decided what they want to eat. So it's stressful, one, to go figure out what restaurant you want to go to. You know, maybe you're debating with your spouse and you want the other person to decide because you don't want to decide. And then when you get to the restaurant, you're there with a group of people. And what do? You want to go last because you want to hear what everybody else is going to order and you can't figure out what you want to eat. But when you do finally figure it out, the waitress takes your order, she walks away, and you relax. You start getting on your phone, you start talking to your friends or family, and you relax. Because that pressure of deciding what you want to eat is over. So think about that for your customers. You go out and give them an estimate and you say, I'll get back to you. Think about the anxiety that you create by them not knowing. They're trying to figure out what this is going to cost. They have no clue whatsoever. And I can't believe how many people actually fail to email them back, but don't follow up with a phone call. But emails, people get distracted easily and they move on to different things. A lot of customers are ready to buy right now too. So why wouldn't you give them the opportunity? I had to teach my salespeople here that, look, if somebody's ready to buy, sell them now. If they come into my showroom with measurements and they're ready to buy, you better damn well take a deposit. You know, I don't care that the measurements aren't accurate or something like that. We'll go figure it out, but let's take their money. You know, now if they come in with just square footage, then that's going to be tougher. But if they come in with actual measurements, come on, guys, we can figure it out. And don't figure out the least amount they need. Figure out the most that they need and sell them. They want to get this over with. They want to move on. Again, that customer that came to Home Depot, I took a deposit from them before they left the showroom. I never went out to their house. You know, I hope we had enough carpet. I don't know. We never did inspect, but they came in with their measurements. And on the back of my form, I didn't send this to you guys, but on the back of the first presentation I did on carpet, I built in, it's got squares on it, so I can work their measurement out right there in front of them of what they need. But it also says some things like, customers typically need 20% more than what they think they need. Because that's what I found. The average is they need 20% more carpet than what they believe they need. Also that some rules about seams. But I can show everything on a piece of paper, be transparent about it, and they can accept the amount that they need. But I can't tell you how many times customers walk in, they're ready to buy. And salespeople used to say, well, you know, I need to go out and measure first. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, they're ready to buy, sell. You know, they don't care about the accuracy of the color or the measurements or whatever. They just want to get this done. You know, so for a lot of people, they want to get it off their plate. Sell them now. So let's talk about closing a sale. The first technique about closing a sale, and anybody in sales should know this by now, but you give her a price, you put your pen down, and then shut up. And the next one to speak loses. I can't tell you how many salespeople will talk over their presentation or assume that a customer thinks it's too much money. So they'll start backtracking when that wasn't necessary. I've heard some salespeople talk over a customer's thoughts. And they left there and I'm like, she was just thinking about the color. She's trying to consider, and you wouldn't shut up. Give that price. It's uncomfortable sometimes, but don't talk. Let them make the next move. Because you'll create objections that they don't have. We were buying furniture one time, and the sales girl, my wife and I were looking at furniture, and she said, the sales girl gave us the price and said, well, maybe I could do better. Okay, now you have to. So she walked back and she couldn't do better on the price. We weren't objecting to the price at all. We were ready to buy. But she actually talked us out of the sale by doing that. And again, we weren't trying to teach her a lesson or be cruel. It was just regular human nature. I mean, you talked us out of the sale. This is what I was telling you about, that form. So I have some things on there that talk about the measurement being 20% more than what you think. And that we need 3 inches on each side for cuts and stretching. But explaining the whole 12 by 12 thing. You can do the same thing with hard surface, just give a little explanation of why they need excess materials for cuts and design. This is another important thing about closing that I learned from Chet Holmes. He was a great author, our coach, consultant, wrote The Ultimate Sales Machine. That's a great book. A lot of what I teach is based off that book. I've been practicing all of his stuff for over 10 years. One of the first mentors I really came across. If you believe it's in her best interest to use your company, then you have an obligation to close as hard as possible. So if you're going out and selling a job, do you truly believe it's in their best interest to use your company? If that's what you believe, then don't you have an obligation to close the job because you know that customer's better off going with you than with somebody else? And yeah, maybe they can save money by going with someone else, but is that in their best interest? What are they sacrificing by going with somebody else? So ask for the sale. Here's some good closing lines. There's a lot of people that teach how to break it down, the cost, and justify it. I hate all that stuff. So here's some good closing lines you can use that are really pressure free. So 12 months, same as cash. It's just $375 per month, or would you rather use a credit card? I like that one because you're assuming the sale. So that's not a really hard close. If you offer financing, ask them how they'd like to pay for it. Just assume the sale. You wrote it up, you gave them a price. Okay, we need 50% down. Do you want to pay with credit card, or would you rather finance it? It'd be just $375 a month. Do the math. That's the nice thing about same as cash financing. Whatever month you're offering, 12, 24, you can divide the total by that amount and give them their monthly payment. This is one of my favorites. You know what today is. Get an idea of when you can install and put them on the schedule. And chances are, if you do this, you're going to have to adjust, but who cares? You sold the job. Go in and make the adjustment, call them back and adjust the installation date if you have to. But today's the 7th, so we can install on the 20th or 21st, which day would work best for you. You're not giving them a choice of going with you or not. You're saying which day is the best day to install. You can certainly offer an additional discount to buy now. I don't have any problem with giving discounts. I go back and forth on this saving money. People like sales, they like specials, they like saving money. We'll get into that with the pricing and why you should start off with a higher price so you can help a customer save money. But do they really want to save money? How many times were you short on a job? And how many times did a customer thank you for the money that they saved by you being short? Because you ordered the materials and did the work for them. They saved a lot of money, but nobody has ever thanked you for saving them money on that job. But you can certainly at the end of the month, or you can come up with a story that, hey, I got another customer ordering the same thing. I can lump these in together and offer a discount if you can go with the order now. Having an end date on your sale, special offer helps motivate people to buy now. End dates work really well on sales or specials. Here's the challenge for business owners and small companies is we made up the sale, the special, the offer. So we feel like, that we're lying or misleading a customer, or it's our bullshit that they're trying to believe. But guess what? All the sales in every store is made up by somebody. Okay. It's not any more legitimate to get a sales at Kohl's than it is to get it at your store just because you're the one that made it up. Stick to your guns. Your sales or specials are what they are, and they end at the date that they end. Okay. And it's not illegitimate because it came out of your fuzzy little head. This is key. I mean, guys want to increase your closing rates? Follow up. It's amazing how few people follow up. You gave somebody your expertise, your time. You got to respect yourself enough to follow up and see if they want to go with the order. They owe you an answer. Customers owe you an answer. You gave them an estimate. There's nothing wrong with you following up. Have you guys heard of the 9-word email? Now we use 9-word text instead. But in the subject line, hi, Lisa. Little tip, if their name's not Lisa, don't say hi, Lisa. Say, are you still interested in getting carpet for your living room? That's it. Don't say, hey, the sale's ending now, or I really enjoyed meeting you. I think this would look great in your home. Don't throw up all over the page, because if they see a long email, they're not going to read it. 9 words, maybe 10. But in the subject line, hi, their name. Are you still interested in? Same thing on a text. Are you still interested? That's a yes or no answer. How many times that we send out this 9-word email or text and people, oh yeah, I've been meaning to get back with you. I had a tragedy in the family. I had this go down. I had, something happened. But since they didn't get back to you, you're blowing them off. No, send them a 9-word email or text. Great thing. You got salespeople with nothing to do. Go back through your last 6 months. It's amazing how much everybody's lives change over a short period of time. And you look at 2020, think about the people you gave estimates to in January or February, whose lives have dramatically changed since. They're still in your pipeline. Reach out to them. Ask them if they're still interested. It's a whole new year. They may be ready to go. Who knows how their lives have changed? So you might just catch them at the right time. Don't give up on it because it's a year old. All right. So later on today, I am going to send out the materials, and I changed up the format for tomorrow a little bit, or the schedule. So I'll be sending that out. I'm going to send out the Zoom link and the PDFs within the next 3 hours or so. I'll probably email it to you the same way I did before. I used a program called Robly, and it seemed like a lot of people weren't able to open the email in that program. But so I'll just send it out like I did this last time. And I'll go ahead and send the back part of that form out. Anything else that you guys want, just reach out to me. But same thing, that's the class for today. Is there any questions that you guys had? We're about a half hour over.
I digress. Okay, I'll jump in. You mentioned Chet Holmes and the Ultimate Sales Machine.
Yeah.
One of the things he advocates, I believe, in that book is like workshop meetings with your crews and your teams. When you come up with your processes, you build the process, etc. Do you do that at one of those workshops, or do you do that on your own?
We don't really workshop it as much. And I'm kind of one of those leaders that thinks everybody's entitled to my own opinion. So I love everybody's input and feedback. But no, I do take these programs too. And like if I make up a flyer sheet, I go with the salespeople, I see how they're using it, if they're using it, because I want to know where they're getting jammed up. And we're going to go over Monday morning meetings tomorrow. I think they're important. It doesn't have to be Monday, but a weekly meeting with your team. So we do review everything. And the thing I stress the most to you guys is that opening line. Tell me about your project. What are you working on? And I have gone over that with them ad nauseum. So it wasn't just once. You got a sales team. Telling them something once isn't going to work. There's an amazing amount of similarities between your salespeople and your 12-year-old kid. So if you bring cereal to work, they'll leave empty boxes of cereal in the cupboards after they eat it all. So just a lot of similarities. But yeah, with your team, with your salespeople, you got to go over and over and over it. But I always listen to my salespeople on the floor, and anytime they get jammed up or anything, behind me is the whiteboard. I come in here, I write it on the whiteboard. For example, I noticed how long the floor prep took. And this is something I want them to address with customers that they haven't addressed. We have customers that want to do their own tear out. I need you guys to share with the customer, realize that it's going to take a while. But anytime they get jammed up on anything from a sales standpoint, I want to talk about it in here, and let's figure out a way to overcome an objection or something that happens in the showroom that I feel like, I might talk to them about it right away, but usually those things are good learning lessons for everybody. There's always something to learn. So one thing that's been nice, some of the experienced people we've had that make suggestions and all that to improve our process and things has helped out a great deal as well.
Hey, Jerry, can we go back to the reviews and things like that? We always ask for people to review. They absolutely love it. They want to do it. And then I think they forget about it in a day or two, and then it doesn't get done. And that's just something that we've really struggled with. We have really great 5-star reviews, but I want more. I want everybody to leave a review, and I don't know how else to present it or what to do to get them to do it.
Yeah, the best thing, do you provide the link for them to give the review? Yeah, that's the best thing you can do. Make it easy for them to do it. Provide them a link. So when you're talking and they agree to leave a review, you could text it to them immediately.
Okay.
So that's going to take a little bit of figuring out how to text them a unique link that they can use to give the review. I'll
Hey,
see if I
Jer-
can share that with you guys. I know my son's figured it out and we've done it. Our 5-star reviews have gone through the roof. I just got one during this meeting, got another 5-star review. So I get them all the time.
Can I share? I used for a short period, we used a company called Ogvo, OGGVO. And you upload your email list and they will email like 5 people per day until they actually open or respond. They don't do it every day. They email 5 people, the next day, the next 5 people, and they go down your list and then they start over once that's done. So you're not bugging people all the time, but you are getting back to them every 2 weeks or 3 weeks automatically.
Yeah. Podium's really good for it too, but Podium was kind of expensive. We got Creating Your Space to do what Podium would do for us for, fraction of the cost.
If you are with Floor Force, they're actually offering Podium as part of their package now. Like they just added it on. It's almost nothing as part of our deal.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
FYI.
Podium, I signed up with Podium at Surfaces and then talked to Creating Your Space and canceled it. So the fact that they're offering it with Floor Force, that's awesome.
We're using it.
Yeah, they just did that this year.
They're just beta testing it still, and it still seems to me that we're kind of limited on what we can do with it. It also, I mean, it definitely is got some bugs to work out of it, how it's working through Floor Force right now. But it has helped. I mean, we've got 4 or 5 more reviews in the month or 2 that we've been using it. So definitely helps.
What all does Podium do for you though?
We're supposed to have like a group chat where we can talk with all of our salespeople or anyone else in the company. You also have the ability to have people text you from your website, and then you also have the ability to send them these review requests.
Claudia asked a good question. There's a couple here I'm going to go through. Sorry, Sean, the credit card fees is kind of a frustrating thing for me because it's such a nominal fee. If you're charging a high enough price, it shouldn't matter. So I wouldn't worry about the individual fees. Financing fees can be really high. So one way I've worked that, if you ever bought a car or you've seen the car lots advertise either $1,500 off or 0% financing. So we've kind of done the same thing. We've tried to do 3 years same as cash or save $750, something like that. I can tell you that hasn't really worked good. The financing whole thing is kind of an interesting bugaboo. And again, it really has to do with how good of a salesperson you are. I mean, some salespeople really do a great job selling financing and selling that monthly payment. The best way to measure and present estimate, we use handwritten invoices. I'm not a big digital guy. My son's getting us a lot more digital now, but I still believe in old-fashioned pen and paper. And then we have folders. Let me get one. Hang on one second. I'll grab a folder. So we created a sales presentation folder, and just so give us an edge, and it can have warranty information. We put the invoices in there. It makes a good presentation, tells about our 5-star reviews on the backside. And I can tell you sometimes they leave it, especially when they give an estimate and the customer hasn't decided. But our goal is to close in the home. If they close in the home, they don't leave this.
For example, the issue that I'm having is I'm with building my sales team. I'm getting a lot of great, I've been having interviews this whole week. I've been getting great salespeople that have really good sales skills, people skills, but they really haven't been in the flooring industry. So they're nervous about doing the measurements, and it does take, I mean, measuring is pretty simple, but it can get tricky, especially with the carpet and all that. That's one of the major issues of why we can't close in home, because usually we have to take an estimator with us, and then he's like, give me a couple minutes or give me an hour and I'll figure out all the square footage. Then we have to come back to our office and type up the estimate. So I've been trying to find either Measure Square or like an iPad, something that they could do easier, because the people that we want to hire, they don't have that measuring experience, and
Right.
we want to be able to give an accurate quote, not have to go back like, oh, sorry, I did it wrong or something like that. So that's why I asked if there's any software, because I've been looking at Measure Square and I think it's the simplest thing, but I don't know if there was something else out there that we could easily teach our team.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are using Measure Square. I know we're playing around with it. But we've been pen and paper measuring old school way for several years. We're trying, because we're growing quite a bit, so we're trying to get some of these digital things, but we still want to give that estimate in the home. And again, having higher prices does solve a lot of these problems. Clumping things in together, not charging for every little thing, because you don't want to slow down that process and try to figure out everything. I mean, if you have a hard surface job, again, our 1088 includes all the trim and the baseboards. I have no idea how much baseboards they need, or if they need transition pieces, but I don't want to lose a $12,000-13,000 job because of a stick of trim that we don't know the price of. So we don't care about the accuracy of the measurement. Now, as things get more complicated too, having somebody come in, review the job is a good idea too. So also we have different levels of salespeople. We have some people that are really good at hard surface, former installers, people that have been in the industry longer, and some people we leave them stick to carpet. We don't have one ups based on whose turn it is. We have ups based on who's got the best opportunity to sell to that person. So we might match their personalities. We might match them up based on their availability. So I know somebody too, a big company, and they send a measurer out on every job and bring it back to the salesperson. What drives me nuts about that is the salesperson really never steps foot in the home. And we're not only salespeople, we're decorators. You want to romance this thing a little bit. It's beautiful new flooring in their home. Kind of hard to sell them beautiful new flooring in their home if you've never been in their home.
So
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents on the Measure Square thing. So we started doing it about a year ago, and so before that, we had a pretty good amount of errors it could be either a calculation or miss the measurement or miss this or miss that. And in the last year, there hasn't been one job that we made a mistake on after using Measure Square, if you're using it correctly. We haven't had an over measure. We had who knows how many we missed or we lost jobs because of over measuring. Under measuring, we haven't had any. We had to order no materials or anything. That's all. It's been completely clear. When you're done at the job, you can show them a diagram of their house and compare and drop different products in different rooms. There's so many. It's a complete game changer in our business, and it's probably saved us $50,000+ from just not having mistakes and going back and ordering more materials and upset people and all those things. I can't even imagine going back and doing it. I have one of my guys he's been in the business for 30 years, and he's like, I don't even remember how to measure anymore because I got Measure Square. I just push the button on the measure and and it does it for you. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on that. I think everybody should do it.
That's awesome. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I think we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to T-Mobile after we do that to get the iPads. If your sales rep doesn't measure and you send someone else out there to do that, do you pay them at a lower commission? And if so, like what commission do you offer them since you have to pay the estimator to go out there?
Yeah, we don't have an estimator. It's a good question. We're gonna go over salespeople and commissions. It's funny about this conversation. And Justin, if you can chime in here, somebody asked you a question about Measure Square. One thing, again, doing the live master classes, one of the biggest benefits has been the networking has just been huge. I mean, people really enjoy, we go out to a restaurant afterwards or something, and everybody just loves getting together and talking shop. So a lot of these topics that I don't cover in the master class come up, and everybody gets a lot out of that. So miss the live one. Go ahead, Justin.
So we've been using Measure Square for almost 2 years now. I still haven't even got it completely set up because of how small we are. But what we've done is just done generic products in there. That way we can just drag and drop products and be able to populate a list of how much square footage we need, how much base we need, if there's vents, if there's toilets to take out, stuff like that, and just use it very most robust way we can, because the more products we start adding to it, the list gets longer and longer. Things get crazy. I don't even put the pricing in there really. We have that separate on a different part of the iPad, and then we just input all the numbers. So we're not using the system complete, but we are doing what we can with it. It's been very hard to learn, I should say, but I was able to teach another guy within 1 week. He was able to go out on measures on his own.
That's impressive. Yeah, boy, if you can teach somebody how to measure in a week and they're a good salesperson.
Yeah, JP, that was the guy we taught and got out there. He was a pretty good salesman, but this just wasn't the field for him, and he's moved on. So now we're looking for someone else. But I know now that I can teach someone that pretty easily. Teaching them the sales part, that's going to be a little harder, but getting them measuring is now the easiest part. And that was always my biggest struggle and why I wouldn't hire anyone.
We're
One of the
actually-
hardest for people.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, we're actually not that far from Measure Square here, so we actually took a class, and I took all of us down there. We took a class, and within 1 day, we knew how to use the Measure Square. It was not that bad. 1 8-hour day with the teachers telling you, how to do it made a huge difference.
What was the cost on that? If you don't mind me asking.
The class that we took, I think, was like $400 or $500 for all of us, but we're local, so it only took us an hour to get there. They do online classes and stuff as well, I believe, but it's completely worth it. So 2 of us had already learned how to use it on our own, and then 1 of us had never touched it. So the ones that learned it on our own learned a whole bunch of other stuff that we had no clue about, because just like a cell phone, my cell phone, I use it for texting and looking at the internet and talking, but I know my iPhone does a lot more than that. Just like the Measure Square does a lot more than what you can imagine, So it's definitely worth it.
One
I
thing,
think they will give you a free training when you first sign up, and then anybody can join in with you from your team, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a little